What it is, what it does, what it be, what it isn't. I do that with Papa Joe all the time. We send those back and forth. What it is, what it was, what it could be, what it should be. How are you? Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. I wanted to show off this shirt today ahead of the big game. It says The Good Life, watching football, hanging out with my dog. So shout out to Lily, having a good time. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your patience. Murph and I get talking off the air, and then time flies, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, oh, geez. So thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They're open Monday through Saturday, and you can find new and used vehicles from the Ridgeline to the Honda Pilots. You can get the Accord, the Civic, the HRV, the CRV, and more. My favorite's the CRV. You know I'm rocking with that. So, and the new CRV, the 2025 CRV, which I have, they changed the front, like the way it looks overall, and they changed the front of it. That car is just awesome. Like, it looks like it should be in a video type of car. And I got the black one, so sleek, it's nice. So go out to Great Lakes Honda City today. And these vehicles don't only look nice, they're good on gas mileage, and they're safe. So that's the most important thing, especially in the snow out here and the ice. So I look forward to you going over to Great Lakes Honda City today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, or you could just say DT sent me over. They'll know what you're talking about. With that being said, inside of monpozpopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Murph is with me here on a Tuesday. We've had to make Murph Monday a Murph Tuesday for the last couple weeks, because Murph's schedule, he's red carpet things. He's got a lot going on. Suits, tuxes. You don't want to hear about it. So Murph's doing his thing. We're here with him on Tuesday. Happy to be here with Murph. We're going to talk about the Eagles and the Chiefs. I heard they're playing a game this weekend, and it's pretty important. And then we're going to get into some prop bets, some fun stuff, like what color lipstick will Taylor wear? Red, obviously. Anyways, so we'll talk about a lot of different things here on the show. I hope she wears green or dark green. That'd be wonderful. So that's all coming up with Murph. Hour number 2, Gavin Walsh joins me to tell his story and the story of his family. I'm telling you this, folks. Put your tissue box next to you, because Mr. Walsh and I are going to have a conversation that's going to make you laugh, going to make you think. We're going to talk about God and faith. Might choke you up a little bit. So Gavin Walsh's story, whether you know Binghamton, you know Gavin, and you don't, that is an unmissable story. Please do not miss a second of that coming up. And I appreciate Gavin for spending some time. And the ingredients to success, which today is the topic, brought to you by Avicolli's Team Over Self. And I'm not just talking about sports. So with that being said, Murphalation for the Nation is here with us. Picture in picture. Look at him. There he is with that little gator over his shoulder. So we are here today to talk about that. Got the Gators. And we'll be discussing.
Do you remember who signed that helmet, by the way? I'm sure you probably do.
Yes, I do. It's Kyle Pitts.
Very good.
That's right. So, because I
also put Kyle Pitts flawless right in front. We got a National Treasures Kyle Trask, which is kind of covered up by the light. Now you can kind of see it. Yeah. And then this sweet flawless. Here, I'll just pull them up and show you. You guys have seen these already, but the National Treasures out of 99 Kyle Trask. That sits on my desk. Then you got the flawless out of 25. You may not have seen this one yet.
No, I didn't
see
that.
It's a Kyle Pitts 3-color patch. This one's sweet. That's numbered to 25. That sits right in front of his helmet. And then this one I got at the last Philly show. I think I might have showed it before. Out of 15 from Flawless.
Yeah.
Sweet 3-color patch. I think I paid $100 for this. Yeah. Last year it would have cost me triple that. I put the immaculate one back in my case of like my PC stuff.
Yeah.
But like I have this general stuff that sits on my desk, and along with my sweet Mike Piazza Hall of Fame auto, the 2 Mike Piazza rookie card PSA 10s, my Marty Brodeur signed rookie card, and one of my favorite cards in my collection, the him insert of Wyatt Langford.
Very nice. Yeah, there's
case hit actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's some the ones that are here for me over my shoulder today, and there's one that I think I mean I took a picture of, but I don't think anybody's seen it in the studio. It's actually down here because as you can see, I'm Italian and I'm Hispanic, so I like to walk around. And there's this little baby that I got in at Fishtown, actually Fishtown in Philly. Shout out to Fishtown and the crew. But this is my Brianna Stewart, Central New York native, CNS North Star. This is her
Mm-hmm.
autograph, and
I
so
remember
that
getting that one.
yeah, so this sits right.
I don't think you paid all that much for that either, right?
It wasn't no, it wasn't too bad. The guy
Maybe
was
like
his
50,
prices
50,
were
60 bucks
high.
maybe?
His prices were high, but we kind of he wiggled very minimally, but he wiggled a little, and because they're the Caitlin Clarks, those were astronomical. But I did get
Yeah.
that.
They still are.
I know my Corbin Carrolls are there, and then I have a trio that are right here. These beauties, and this is a one of one. You can't find it anywhere, can't get it anywhere, and not only is it autographed by both people on the card and a one of one, but it says Happy Easter. That's from GG Cards and Breaks. That's the gents right there. So that sits here on this easel that my guy Curtis Tillman got me. He got me an easel for Wake Up Call and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. So it's really cool easel, and you can like touch this stuff too. It's like it's very.
You gotta get more of it. You gotta get more of them for when you do shows. You could put out like some
awesome.
cards on that, and like it look pretty cool.
So these are the ones that are currently sitting here. My Jazz Chisholm, Arizona Diamondback, Bowman First, who's also a Yankee, and it's a 10, and it's autographed. And my personalized and has the sticker on it to prove that it happened. This is Josh Brolin as Thanos signing the gold card in gold with the Thanos gold, writing his name, and then putting in parentheses, or putting it, yeah.
That's
Thanos.
cool.
So it's got Brolin's autograph, Thanos, and then it says Brolin Thanos, so it matches. And it was funny
That's
because
sweet.
they said pick what you want. Pick if you want him to sign it as a character or whatever, or pick if you want him to sign it. And he signed it, and then he says, "Do you want Thanos?" And I was like, "Can I do that?" And he's like, "Do you want?" He's like, "You don't have to have it." I was like, "Of course I want it." So this is one of my favorite cards. I was daintily carrying this through New York Comic Con. Chaz is okay. He's right here. So, but I was daintily carrying this through New York Comic Con because I had to wait for it to dry, and so I was able to package that and get that home. But I don't know if you know this. You may have seen it, but I met Chris Evans, not this Comic Con 2024 2023. So I met Captain America. And then I went to the College Football Playoff National Championship this year, and I met Captain America, Anthony Mackie. So that was...
You've met them both.
I've met both captains, yes. So it was very cool. And Anthony, and I got to talk to Anthony. Like with Chris, he was just doing pictures, whatever. But with Anthony, like I shook his hand, he held onto my hand, we talked, and then we took a picture, and then we talked again, and then I left. So I'm very excited. My mom was like, the guy you took a picture with, she's like, every commercial for the college football playoff is about him. And I was like, yeah, the movie's coming out. So very excited for that stuff. But yeah, those are the ones, they kind of just find their way. Nolan Ryan's always here off my right shoulder because my Uncle Bill gave it to me. May he rest in peace. God bless him. And yeah, I have Rob Drummond and Dale Shackelford's autographs because they're good friends. So those are here. There's a lot of stuff you never see on camera. There's like a Syracuse Tower, and then there's a Jaguar section. And I have a Fred Taylor autograph. I think I have a couple, but I never.
thought you had a football signed by Fred Taylor.
I want to like meet Fred. Like I met Damon Stoudemire,
Mm-hmm.
Fred and Damon, my two favorite players, and I met Damon and I talked to Damon. I want to actually meet Fred because I got this autograph off of eBay, and that's all. I mean, it comes with a certification, but to me, it's like once I got it, I'm like, man, it's not the same. Like I still want to meet. Because I met Damon, hugged Damon, shook hands with Damon, interviewed Damon, then interviewed him again, you know. So, and my buddy that, like, we grew up, he was Jason Kidd, James, and I'm Damon Stoudemire. He was like, you got to meet Damon? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that must have been, like, crazy for you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I was 9 years old when he started. So it was, it's been pretty amazing. He came to the Dome. He was very fiery in the Dome. For sure, and not necessarily happy with how his team was playing in moments, but it was, and Syracuse actually won that game against Georgia Tech this year. But yeah, I'm super happy for Damon and what he's doing and the work that he's put forward. So it's been really cool to kind of watch that and see that. But yeah, I tell people all the time, listen, God is real. God listens to your prayers and God will answer them. You just have to be patient. And I waited almost 30 years to meet my favorite player. And then of the 334 or 44, whatever it is, I think it's 363 Division I men's basketball teams. Of all teams he could go to, he goes to Georgia Tech in the ACC. And I don't just cover Syracuse, I cover the whole ACC. So the fact that I've been doing that for over a decade, and then he shows up there. Ross Turetsky sent me the message, and he was like, look where Damon just got hired. And I was like, I jumped up so high in my kitchen, I think my head almost hit my ceiling. I remember
And
that.
you don't exactly have high ceilings, so I can believe that.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I can jump. I can definitely jump. That's something I've always been able to do. But yeah, because I used to do like the hurdle stuff when they had us do that in gym class. And they're like, do the hurdles,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, no gym teacher should ever ask someone who's not doing hurdles as a sport to do the hurdles because it's not like a safe thing to do. But for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I can do the hurdles. So, but yeah, I'll remember that day forever with Mr.
I mean,
Steinmeier.
we're kind of already on the cards topic. I know we were going to do that anyway. Should we just do that now?
Yeah, I got
And
him
just
right
kind of
here.
do it quick because we're already on the topic.
Yeah. You go
But
first.
oh, I don't really have much to show. I mean, Fishtown was this weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go because of work. I mean, I got like 4 cards I can show you, and then I'll let you take over. Um, Nothing real all that crazy. I mean, there's 2 cool ones. One of these is Pop 1, and the other one is also pretty low pop. It's a Contenders season ticket RPA PSA 10 of Garrett Wilson.
Garrett.
This is Pop 1, so there are no others. So that one you will not see anywhere else. I have the only one in the world as of right now.
And tell people when we say pop this and pop that, for people that don't know, tell them what that means.
So if I say like Pop 1, so it's population of 1. So like a certain card's pop count, that's how many of a certain grade there are. So for example, like that particular one, there's only one PSA 10, so it's Pop 1. If there's 10,000 of them, it's very, very, very high pop. So there's a lot of them. So lower pop kind of just means there's not very many of them.
And how do
And I
people
think
find out?
what's that?
How do people find out what their pop is?
So if you have a PSA card, PSA is the easiest one to look up.
Yeah.
What you can do, and I'll actually do it here live just so that it's easy, so you can kind of see it. So every PSA card has this QR code on the back,
Yeah.
and when you are at a show, you can scan that. So I'm just going to scan the QR code, and oh, I'm wrong. It's Pop 2.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, but here it is. So the card shows up
Yeah.
right on the PSA app. So if you have the app, all you got to do is scan the QR code. The card will come up, and it doesn't just work for that. It works for anything. So let's take this cheap Patrick Mahomes card, for example. We'll scan that one. This one's probably like a much higher pop. No, it's not. That's just because nobody's really graded this card. So this one's Pop 2 as well, but nobody really graded it. So it's not like it's a...
Yeah.
I just thought it was a cool card to grade at the time. It's a PSA 8, which stinks, but that's okay. And then the other card I was going to show, and then I have a couple of cards that I ripped from Prism, is you'll like this because you like all the college autos. So this is Malik Neighbors, PSA 10 Bowman First Auto from LSU.
Nice.
Out of Bowman Chrome U. That's a cool card.
Go ahead.
That's pretty low pop as well. And then I ripped a box of Prism. Actually, 3 boxes of Prism. Okay. My best box by far was the first one. The other 2 boxes were, kind of crap.
Okay.
So the first hit, it's really 2 main hits. These are probably going to go get graded. The first one was a disco of Brock Bowers.
Bowers. I like Brack Bowers very much.
And then the other one, I originally thought it was the regular silver, but it's the silver variation, which is still a good card to have.
Yeah.
Of one of the big quarterbacks, Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, very
The
nice.
silver variation of him. PSA 10, that's probably some money. And then I also, Go Gators, ripped a Ricky Pearsall.
There he is.
Speaking of which, I don't know why that's not in the top loader. Let's do that real quick. But I want to see what you picked up at Collectors Fest.
Yeah, I got a few things at Collectors Fest that was
Because
at.
you were getting me all excited for what you ripped or for what you grabbed.
Yeah, so I got a few things, few graded, and then a couple guys that I covered in the college football playoff one that I interviewed. I will show these first because I did a box break. So I will show these. These are cool. Love this guy's name. Future of Ohio State potentially here. And, man, this dude, I'm just saying he's pretty good. Julian Sayin. So, and they kind of play with the name on the back of the card, too. Rated
Nice.
rookie, student orientation. I got a nice purple laser.
Those from Prism Draft Picks, right?
Yeah. So I got a Keyshawn throwback.
I wish that I guess they lost the rights to the logos because the logos aren't on there anymore.
Some of them.
Bowman has them now.
It's weird. Some of them they can show and some of them they can't. So, like, it's like by team. It's really weird. Like Kool-Aid McKinstry, they can't show it, but then Roma Dunze, they can show Washington. So that's Kool-Aid. Then I have Bowers rookie. Some of these may be gradable, so they're in top loaders right now. And then I'm trying to get I got Jay Trav, his rookie.
There you go. He's got the wrong uniform on, but yeah.
Sam Hartman. I got Quinn Ewers. I got the rated rookie of Mr. Ewers.
He declared for the draft, right?
Yes. And then I got a bunch of other rookies from Pack Break that I did, but I got these two. And these, people are like, I don't want the college. If they don't want the college uniform, this has the pro crest. This one, the Falcon one, has the pro thing that you could see it on the bottom for the Falcons, and the other one has the Broncos on the back. But I got inserts of Bo Nix and Michael Penix.
Nice.
And then, so that's pretty much from the breaks that I did with GG cards and breaks. And then from the show, let's see what we got here. So I got the Bowman first of a draft pick that I'm very excited about coming up this year. My man, Cam Scattaboo, right there. There he is.
Yeah.
There's Bill.
I had never heard of him before that game against, who'd they play? Ohio?
Texas.
No. Texas. I'd never heard of him before that Texas game. Now he is a living legend.
Yeah, so Scattaboo.
Puking on the sideline because he was dehydrated or something and still going off for, 3 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah, man was throwing, catching, running. So Cam Scattaboo got his Bowman first refractor, and I also got the Bowman first refractor of someone that I interviewed twice during the college football playoff, and he is now a national champion, Will Howard, who started his career at Kansas State. So I got William. And then the ones that I got that are graded, and don't pay attention to the price because I didn't pay these, but I just left them on here. I wanted to get, I got a Donovan McNabb, I got a rookie of his. It's kind of mesmerizing, the refractor itself. It's got like this circular thing behind him that looks really cool. So this is a PSA 9 of his rookie card, but it's got these circles that keep like going. So it's a really cool card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a PSA 9 for Donovan. I had someone buy my Pete Alonso rookie, so I got a new Pete Alonso 10 rookie. So,
that's a cool one, though.
Yeah, that's why
I will say this. I have put a stop to buying any Pete Alonso cards until I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
If he comes back to the Mets, I'll buy more. If he doesn't come back to the Mets, I might sell mine.
I'm buying this in anticipation that he will stay a Met. So
I would be I would still be shocked if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because if he wanted to go to Toronto,
yeah,
he would have already signed there. Clearly, he doesn't want to go anywhere. He made a huge mistake in hiring Scott Boras and turning that contract down last year. He'd be signed. He'd have a 6-year deal left and $160 million in his pocket. Now he's going to be lucky to get 90.
Well, keep in mind, folks, we're going to get ready very soon here because we're in February, so
Pitchers and catchers
we're
report
spring
in two
training.
weeks.
Yeah, so we're spring training here. So he's going to have to make his mind up. But it's a 10. It's a Pete Alonso,
I
and
love the colors on the card
to
too.
be honest, like
What series is it?
I think that I paid. You're not going to believe me, but I think I paid $5 for this.
SGC 10?
Because it was in a package deal with the card I'm about to show. So
Nice.
yeah, and so I paid like $5 for Donovan's rookie, $5 for Pete's rookie, and I got this one. Now I already have this man's autograph. It's on a hat and it's inside of his book. He is a friend of mine. He passed on. He's in heaven. I love you, brother. You know that. This guy means the world to me. If people, not a lot of people know this. I think only the people that I tell know this because the only person that's physically seen me do it is my buddy Isaac. But every Syracuse football home game, I walk up the staircase. This man's picture's there. I kiss my hand and I touch the picture when I go in, and I kiss my hand and I touch the picture when I go out, win or lose. I've never had his rookie card, and they didn't sign back then. So this is his signature, and I have his signature enough to know what it looks like. So this is signed. It's authenticated by Beckett, and it's got like the old Brown logo here, or the old Bronco logo here. So this is his actual rookie card, encapsulated and signed, and I got this just in honor of one of my closest friends, Floyd Little.
Beautiful. That's awesome, dude.
And you see that it's like an authenticated, guaranteed signature and all that, and it's his rookie card.
If Beckett authenticated it, it's real.
Yeah, and so I mean, this is the back in the day, really old looking card here. You could see it was starting to discolor, and
a little crease in the middle there.
And
I can see now why they didn't grade it.
Yeah, I mean it's highly
big
off,
crease in the middle.
It's very off center, pointing toward the left, but
it doesn't matter though. Like stuff like that, like you're not going to see cards from the '60s signed like that.
No, and the thing is when they cut these cards back in the day, I mean, this was a different system. This is a different thing, but this is Floyd's rookie card, signed by Floyd, Denver Broncos. I don't have any of his cards, so this goes with my book and it goes with my hats. And I'll show those right now quick, but I have Floyd asked me when we met in his office, he said, "Do you have my book?" And I said no, and he went into his desk and he's like, "I think I got one or two lying around." And so his book, one of Floyd's quotes that he followed that came from somebody else. I want to say, is it Eli Wiesel? But no, it was I'm trying to remember who the quote was from. But it's, "I got miles to go before I sleep and promises to keep." So his book is called Promises to Keep. And if you open it up, it says to Dan, and it's got Floyd, and it's got his Hall of Fame year. And then he signed, this is the first thing he ever signed for me. And this is one of my favorite hats. I literally bought this hat because I thought it was cool. So the hat on the front's got the Broncos. And then on the mesh, I've never seen a hat like this. The logo is on the mesh of the back of the hat.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he signed.
I've never seen that either.
He signed the brim. So yeah, so my Floyd Little collection stays right off my shoulder here. It's with a
just
bunch
got a little bigger.
Yeah, it's and it's with my Donovan McNabb and Cam Lynch and all my guys that went out there and did big things. Justin Pugh and Nolan Ryan is over here too, and Floyd Little, Ernie Davis's patch of his jersey, which it's hard to find anything Ernie Davis, and I got a piece of his jersey that I think was in like one of the Hall of Fame or Senior Bowl, like the All-Star games, so that was like one jersey cut once, I think. So that's, yeah, my rarities are a little bit off camera here, but they're like always close to my heart and right over my shoulder. So Floyd is there, and now there's more Floyd. But yeah, I just my buddy had the card, and I just said to him, I was like, what can you do for the Alonso and the McNabb and Floyd together? And I just wanted to bring this home, and we took a picture with it, and I'm gonna send the picture to his wife, Deborah, and just let her know that I'm thinking of her. So that's what I wanted to show to
That's
you.
cool.
Yeah,
I love when you're able to pick up cards like that they may not be worth a whole lot, but they have special meaning, right? Like this one, for example. Obviously, everybody knows that Mike Piazza was my favorite player growing up,
Yeah.
right? This one's cool to me because it's of his Hall of Fame induction, and I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's a card that I'll never sell. I don't care that it's a PSA 8. I just wanted it encapsulated. So I did, and I got whatever I got, and I didn't really care. I would have loved if it was a higher grade, but
Yeah.
PSA doesn't like thick cards like that.
Well, and I didn't show you these. I'm going to run through these really quick because these cards I picked up at the last show, and these very well may be gradable cards. A bunch of these, so I picked them up. Is this all of them? Oh my goodness, I didn't show you any of these. So I got a Bo Nix rookie card here. Insert refractor of Mr. Bo Nix. I got the Gunslinger.
That's a great card, but don't grade it
Yeah. Then there's
because of centering. I'm sure you know that though.
yeah, I'm looking at it. There's a Gunslingers, a Jackson Dart, and these cards are cut really cool.
That is, it's cut like what are those things called? Like a target.
Yeah, it's
Like you
really
shot through a target. That's cool.
yeah. And then I got this one. I interviewed this guy, Jack Sawyer. So I got
Yep.
Sawyer's, Nick Singleton from Penn State. I picked him up. I got
He's good.
I got this Bowers that's pretty close to being centered here, and it's got the Raiders thing on the back.
It looks good to me.
And then I got this one.
Centering.
This man went buck wild, and then he praised the name of Jesus, which I appreciate. The autograph of Travion Henderson, national champion.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jaden Daniels rookie card. I got Nick's.
Those are still like $10 a piece.
Yeah, I got Nix's rookie card here.
I got two PSA 10s of those now.
Yeah, these guys did like
That's a great card.
they did really good deals. I got Evan Ingram just because he's a buddy of mine, and I like him, and I built a relationship over the last couple of years and talk about God. I got Gibbs's rookie. I got Brock Bowers' ugly sweater for Christmas.
That's cool.
I got, because I like Brock Bowers, I got a stained glass of Bryce Harper.
That's sweet.
This man's got the same birthday as me, so I wanted to get this. It's my first Whitey Ford card. And then this guy is a friend of mine that I talked to in his recruitment, and I had no idea he had an autograph out there, so I got it. Jason Henderson from Old Dominion. I got his auto to support my buddy. And
There you go.
the last two that I'm going to show you, I'm very excited about. This one, I feel like, I'm going to look at all these again, and Josh and I will look at them, but I may have this one graded. It is a rated rookie of Arch Manning.
Oh, nice.
And then this is one that I did in a deal with a kid who wanted my Saquon. This is a Fighting Irish double patch rookie card autographed booklet numbered of Michael Mayer.
Booklets are so sweet.
And I
I
thought
just
this card
never
was sick.
know how to store them.
Yeah. Well,
So I've only ever owned one, and I just don't know what to do with them.
yeah, so these I have two. I have this and I have Raheem Christmas, but this is just like this really, really cool thing. It's low numbered, and
I think they make top loaders for those.
so the one touch case actually gives this
Oh, they
thing-
have one touches for them too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got the one. So this kid gave me his one touch case that he has for it, so it fits all snug right in there. But
So
yeah.
I think they make one touch cases that you can actually have it set out like
Yeah.
the full booklet.
I know Gigi's has like they'll have different things for you. They have the sleeves for the booklet cards as well. But yeah,
Yep.
so that was all the stuff that I got at GG Cards and Breaks trade night at the Wildcat, and so we do trade night pretty much every single month at the store, and then once a season, summer, spring, fall, winter, we have one of each of those seasons at the Wildcat.
I got to make it up for one of these days.
Yeah, and I
Come
that
the
was
fall,
crazy.
I could probably get up there.
But it was amazing because I made really good money at that show. Like I was happy with everything I sold, and then I came home with that stack of cards. Like I didn't lose anything, and then I came home and I was looking
Yep.
at what I brought home, and I was like, this is a really good pile. And there's this guy that Josh was doing a deal with, and I was looking through the guy's stuff, and he's so like kindly priced on all this, and like a lot of that stuff that I made grade came from his collection, and the guy was super nice. So yeah, I mean, I had a great time. It's where I got to meet the guy that's from Long Island, and got to see Curtis and all that, and made a bunch of deals, and some of them with the kids that were there. And then one of the kids came up and he told me it was his birthday and he's a Bills fan, so I had him pick what card he wanted, and he took home a diamond refractor of Josh Allen, and it was not his rookie year, but it was a Josh Allen card. And I said, I got this, and I got a rookie card of one of the Bills players. And he's like, well, I like Josh Allen, so that's what he took home for his birthday. So
That's always cool.
Yeah, it was a great show. And like I look at that stack of cards and I'm like, wow, I must have spent money, but I did not.
Yep.
So that was
anytime you can come home from a show, with more money than you walked in with and some really cool cards, it's a win.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a win. Now, sometimes like the show I did last weekend, I didn't really buy all that much, partly because I just needed to, sell a bunch of stuff. But, I picked up a couple of cards that I was happy with. Like I picked up some gradable cards. Like I picked up a stack of like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix and all that stuff. And realistically, like you can still make money on them if you grade. Like if you pick out the ones that are good and you grade them and you get 10s.
Yeah.
You could still make money on them.
Yeah.
Like the Prism stuff of Jaden Daniels, I sent it to PSA when there was that crazy sale of $2,500 for a base Prism PSA 10.
That's crazy.
Which is now worth about 500 and change. I feel bad for whoever bought that. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is like, and you and I talk about this, but, like I tell people, and I've learned because, and I'm just like, I've collected my whole life. I'm a big kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to these shows, and, I remember one time this kid was like, look at that card, something that I had. He's like, look at the price on that. And I was just like, tell me what the price, tell me what you've seen. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, if there's a different price, because sometimes I'll have a price and I'm like, man, that should have been higher. And then I have a price and I'm like, man, that should have been lower. But when people come up and they talk to me, I'm like, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, hey, whatever price is on the back of that, like, if you see something, if you want to look it up, I'm all about being fair. Like the kid that we traded, and I got the mayor and he got Saquon and something else from me.
Mm-hmm.
I said to him, I was like, do you want to do this deal? And he was like, hold on a sec. And then I think he went and asked his dad and like wanted to check. And I was like, I want the kid to feel good. I want I want him to feel like he got something good, because I was swindled as a kid. Like there was a guy who knew he knew what I liked, and I was taken advantage of. So, I'm fair. And I remember one kid at a trade night, he traded a card with me, and his friend was like, you're such an idiot. Your card's so much better than his card. And I can hear this, and I'm thinking to myself, if this kid comes back to me, I'll give him his card back. Like if he wants it. I'm like, I didn't think anything. Nobody was trying to swindle him on my end. But I was like, if he wants it back, he can have it. But I'm listening to this, and then one guy was like, yeah, you're the guy that like traded that card. And I'm like, oh my gosh, with like the weirdness here. I'm like, if the kid wants it back, then like it's literally right here. You know what I mean? Like I know what it's like to be treated like that, and I would never do that to somebody. But people make a trade and then they have like that remorse, or somebody tells them they shouldn't have done it, and then there's this like back and forth and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, like it's not that serious. Like if you cut, like there's certain people I don't deal with because of the way that they deal with people, and so I just don't deal with those people. But the reason why, like, I work with Josh and Anthony, as you know, and Alex, because Alex has bought stuff from me, and Joel and all that, is because they're fair. Like, Alex and I did a deal at trade night, and I had a price of what it was, and then Alex found it for less, and then I said, okay, and he goes through, and he'll look up the thing, and he'll show me, and I'll go, all right, and then we talk, and then I say, okay, make me an offer. And then he made me an offer, and I went higher, and he went lower, and then we met in the middle, and we like joked about it because he wanted like a certain amount, and I added $5, and he laughed, and he's like, whatever. So like but it's like, you know what I mean? When you're in this business and in any business, it's all about how you treat people, and So to me, like I gauge that. Like when I deal with somebody that's selling, whether it's a company or just an individual, when I'm dealing with a person that's selling, how are they treating me? Are they haggling me? Is this a $200 box that you put 450 on and you're willing to go to 415, but it's worth 200? Like I pay attention to all that stuff because at the end of the day, you should want to go home happy, but you should want other people to go home happy. And people that are sharks that are just there to make money at the cost of everybody else, I don't deal with those people.
Yeah. And obviously, at least for me, like obviously I'm there, I want to make a little bit of money on it on stuff there as well. But I'll never, like if I have something overpriced, I'm always willing to come down as long as I'm not gonna like lose my shirt, right? Like if it's a card that like I'm willing to lose money on, like I sold an Evan Carter PSA 10 last week that I kind of lost a good bit of money on, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
it's one thing that I'm willing to work with people on, and it makes things fun. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. Is like you know even though a lot of the vendors are there to make money, we're all still collectors at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like we're all still there to collect cool stuff.
Yeah. And that's
Because I use the money that I make to buy other stuff like for myself. Like I'll go to show like almost every show I come home with something that's for myself that
yeah.
I'm not going to resell.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes down the road I need some money, I'll end up selling that thing. And whatever I get, I get. But that's the stuff that like I don't really mind how much I paid for it
Yeah.
because I'm just, I'll just keep it.
Well, and I've been doing my college football playoff collection of like if I have a collection of these are people I've interviewed, these are people I've covered, and I've been like trying to collect college football playoff guy like people that I either interviewed or teams that I covered. So that's why I got Penn State, I got Ohio State, and I got Riley Leonard's Bowman first autograph early in the season, the Duke one, and I think I paid like $13 for it. So like to me, it's like he's my buddy, and I mean obviously I'd like to just be like, hey Riley, can you sign something and send it to the studio? And he's a nice guy. So, but to me, I do it for support too. To me, it's like I want to support the people that I care about, and I want to try and find it. So if it's fairly priced, like the Travion Henderson, I mean I spent a few dollars on the dude's autograph, and then the guy that sold it to me saw me at the show over the weekend. He's like, you want to trade? He's like, you want to give that back to me? So like because he won the championship after I got the card. So
Yeah.
but this is something that I found really quick. This is crazy because I don't remember having this. I don't remember how this happened, but I went to Florida State. So I remember going to the game, and this was my ticket. So I had my ticket printed out. This is Florida State, and the game was on November 29th, 2014. Insane. Over a decade ago. I didn't realize this, dude. This fell out of like some random thing in my like random book in my house. The game ticket from Florida State is signed by my guy Jimbo Fisher,
Oh, that's great.
and I found it was just like in my office, and I was like, "What is that? Like what?" I was
It's like, where'd this come from?
"Yeah."
Like I don't remember getting this.
Yeah, so I got Jimbo's. I got Jimbo's.
Those are always
autograph.
the best things when you find something that
Yeah.
you don't ever remember getting or anything like that, and then it's like, oh, I don't remember getting this, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have it.
So I got Jimbo Fisher. It's like I got Jordan Travis in here autographed. I got Jimbo. I was like, there's a little Florida State action going on here.
We
in
need
the
to get
studio.
you some Gator stuff, man.
I know. I do like. It's funny because when I go into GG Cards and Breaks, they have some Kyle Trask stuff, and I'm like, I like him. Like I have some of his rookie stuff, and I liked him I liked him before you and I talked about him because Papa Joe and I would talk about wanting him to get a chance with the Bucks, and so I low key kind of like look for his stuff, but I also look for fairness. Like if somebody's got his card and they're like, this autograph is $100, and I'm like, it's not. But like I want a Kyle Trask, and I'm a little sad that I mean I know you and I did a deal for my Anthony Richardson, and I'm happy with it, but that has to be
Honestly,
the sickest
if
patch
you
I've
want,
seen in my
if
life.
you want that back, I would consider moving it back to you.
Yeah. It's the sickest patch I've seen in my entire life. It's half
Next
of the face of
time
a
I see
gator.
you, I'm gonna bring it with me, and we can maybe make a deal for you to get it back.
I am doing a deal for my one of one, my
Because it
Brian
used to
Thomas.
sit on my desk, but I'm like, when I got the flawless auto, I'm like I really want that to sit out. And I'm like, that patch is sweet and everything, but like, and I was literally thinking about that. I'm like, if you want it back, like I'll trade it back to you. Like I don't have a problem doing that.
Yeah. Then there's
Uh,
my untradables. This one sits on the top of my untradeable. I brought this to a GG Cards and Breaks trade night at the Wildcat. Not the last one, but recently. It's numbered to, my goodness, it's numbered to 90. I think it's 71 of 90. This is a rookie patch auto. And I had this in my case. And I was like, why is this here? It was one of those things in my box that I'm like, why did I bring this? I brought it by accident. And I had multiple offers on this card, but I already I already sold, I think, or traded away. I think I sold it, my RPA. And so you know this card, but I will not give up my sauce.
mm-hmm.
So this one sits over my left shoulder in my studio.
So here's the thing. Don't give that one up until you get a better one.
Right, that's
Like if you
how-
get a better patch,
Yeah.
then that's when you give that one up.
Yeah, because sauce, when I gave up the sauce, I was like, man, because like I knew sauce before a lot of people knew sauce because I cover Cincinnati. So I was around Ahmad Gardner. So before like everybody was
When
like,
did he start going by sauce?
He started, well, so I know the last season at Cincinnati he was sauce. I don't know if the season before he might have been, but when I was at the championship game for the American in Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium, he was sauce. And oh no, I think it might have just been for 1 year because I think he did a deal with A1 for NIL. And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, so it was like I was saying that he would get drafted by the Jets 4th overall, like early. That was the year that I predicted the first 4 picks by the Jets, and I looked around the room at Pizza Man, and I'm like, am I wearing the wrong color green? Because I'm teal, I'm Jacksonville. But I literally predicted, and I remember I came out of the bathroom, and the Jets traded back into the first round, and I was walking from right to left, and I looked at the TV, and they're like, the Jets traded back in. I'm like, oh, the Jets are back in the first round, and I went, Jermaine Johnson the second, and I walked away, and then they drafted him. And literally, the first 4 picks that they had, everybody.
Well, because they were looking at taking Jermaine at 10. They wanted to take Jermaine at 10 when they took Garrett.
Yeah.
And then when he kept falling, then they were able to trade up and get him. I remember listening to the phone call when they were like, dude, like we were ready to take you at 10.
Yeah.
And when we took Garrett and you kept falling and we were able to get you here, we were pumped. Because like we felt like we got a top 10 talent at 22 or 20 or whatever it was.
That was the year where it was Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine, and Brees, and I predicted all 4 of them. Brees, I was like, his numbers were uncanny.
All four of them are great players.
Oh yeah.
You know, obviously Jermaine had the Achilles this year, and hopefully he comes back strong next year. But you know, Sauce had a down year, but he's still one of the best young corners in the NFL. Yeah. Garrett's one of the best wide receivers in the league, and I am scared that Garrett is going to ask for a trade, and they're going to trade him. Garrett is the most talented player I have ever seen play the wide receiver position for the Jets.
Yeah.
That we drafted and developed. I do not want to see them trade him. If they trade him, I am going to be pissed at this team.
That'd be really, honestly, for a fan base that gets mad easily, that would be a very stupid thing to do. But let's get into this.
This would not be like Jamal Adams, for sure. No, but yeah, we haven't even touched on the big game yet. I know that's where you were
let's
going.
talk big game. For those of you that are tuning in, that are waiting for Gavin Walsh, I promise that special is coming up here in the second hour, right after we talk about the big game. So if you come here to hear the story of Gavin Walsh, I appreciate that tremendously. And I'm sure y'all are going to be watching the big game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. By the way, Gavin told me his family is split. So if mom and dad are watching and listening right now, if the family's listening right now, the women in the family are Ravens. The men in the family are Steelers, and he's from Baltimore, Maryland. So he grew up leaning toward the Ravens. Grandma and Grandpa broke the rules because they were both Ravens. But as I understand from Gavin, women Ravens, men Steelers. So
How does that work?
they've had some interesting moments in the household, and he will tell you guys worldwide what quarterback he's leaning toward. I asked him Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, draft Kyle McCord. We get his thoughts about that in a little bit. But keeping with football here, so Gavin's coming up in just a few minutes. Eagles, Chiefs. They're playing this big game. I heard it's pretty big. It's 59. Technically, you're not allowed to say the word of the game. So when people are like, why do you say big game? Why do you say NFL title? Why do you say championship? Technically, you're not allowed to use the words super and bowl if you're doing any type of promotion with your thing. So like my show has clients that I work with and partnerships. So we say big game on here. When we break it down, we'll say the word. I know you see the word in different places, but the big game is between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And Murph and I are going to give our prediction. We're going to have some fun prop bets, though. So, Murph, feel free to throw
I'm excited for these.
Yeah, so you could throw any my way. I'm going to throw a few your way. So, here's one for you. Do we see... I'm big on trailers, and the trailers last year let me down. Are we going to see a new Marvel Thunderbolts trailer? Because we know the Captain America, we're going to see that because that comes out on February 14th. It comes out 5 days after the big game. So technically on the 13th, which is when I'm going, because I want to see it the first day. But my first prop bet to you is, will we see a Marvel Thunderbolts new trailer featuring the villain? And I know you don't know who the villain is. I think it's Hyperion. But it's like
not even sure what Thunderbolt is either.
Like
but I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, so
that we do see that.
So the prop bet here of will we see?
Because I'm a Super Bowl. I'm a big game commercials fan.
Yeah. So will
we? Well, at least maybe not recently, but you know, everybody watches for the commercial. A lot of people just watch for the commercials.
Yeah. So will we see a new Thunderbolts? Yes or no? Murph says yes, and I also say yes, that we're going to see a new one for that. Another question for you is, let me think about some things that are coming out. So will we see a longer trailer for James Gunn's new Superman movie coming out in July?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Longer as in over a minute, or
longer than what we've seen, so more footage.
I'm gonna probably go with no.
Okay. I'm gonna go with yes. Murph's gonna go with no. So next one here. How many commercials, not how many in total in the sense of like how many times they play it, but how many different commercials will we see Pat Mahomes in? The number is 3. Over 3, under 3.
Well, he's got the State Farm commercials.
Yeah.
We know that. I'm going to say under. And the reason I'm going to say that is because I don't think is he on any other commercials really?
He is, because there was a Super Bowl type commercial playing during the Bills-Chiefs game and the Eagles game against the Commanders, which is like, why are you playing a commercial for this before they get there, which was a little hazy. But, oh, goodness me, I just quoted a Taylor Swift song. But, yeah, so there's 2 different companies that I believe he'll show up in, but the question is, will he show up in more than 3 or less than 3? Over, under?
I'm going to take the under.
All right, I'm going to take the
I know
over.
That's bold, but I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the over because I think that him and Andy Reid show up in everything. So
I think you're probably right, but I kind of want to be different.
Okay, here's one that I'm excited about. Will the funniest commercial of the Super Bowl feature Andy Reid?
Oh man, I hate to say it, but no.
Okay. I'm going to also say no, although I do think that he has some funny moments, so I'm also going to say
I love the State Farm cheeseburger commercial.
Yeah. I came up with a commercial for Andy Reid that I would definitely do. I don't want to say it on here because I don't want State Farm to steal this commercial from me. But there's one that I have for you, Andy, if you're interested. I do have a commercial and it involves food. So, okay, my next one for you is how many times, I'm sad that I have to ask this question, how many times will we see Taylor Swift during the big game? Under 10, over 10?
I don't remember how many it was last
I think
year,
it was 7 or 8.
but I'm gonna go under because I think they kind of it was still kind of that new thing last year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say under because I think you'll see her anytime Kelsey scores a touchdown. You'll see her at the beginning of the game. You'll see her at the end of the game. I don't see it being more than five, so I'd even go under five.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's as because like last year again, it was a new thing. This year, it's like total. It's old news. Like we know we're gonna see her, but I don't think we're gonna see her as much.
I hope.
I hope
I
not.
hope
God,
I hope that it's under it needs to be under 10. Will we see Bon Jovi a sighting of him? Yes or no?
why would we see Bon Jovi?
I think he's an Eagles fan.
Is he?
I think he is. Yeah, because he owned the Philadelphia Soul for the indoor
I'm
league.
gonna go with no, but I got one for you after you answer this one.
So will we see Bon Jovi? I think he is. I'm gonna say yes for Bon Jovi. So Murph says no.
Will we have
I'm gonna say yes.
a Mike Trout sighting?
Yes.
I would hammer the yes on
Yeah,
that
we're
one.
gonna say yes.
Because if those of you that don't know, Mike Trout is a massive Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Will we see Mike Trout? I'm gonna say yes. Murph's gonna say yes. Okay, here's a guy who's covering the Super Bowl or the big game, pardon, and it's it's a joke between Papa Joe and I. And every time I mention him, he goes, "My man, Jameis." How many times? Because he's been covering the big game, he's been doing interviews, whatever. How many times will we see Jameis Winston during the game? Like, how many times will they cut to
During
him?
the game or before the game?
I'm going to say during the game. Will they cut to him during the game and ask him a question about you interviewed this guy during the thing? So let's say over under 2.
I would say they only show him once.
Okay.
Because I think he'll have a lot before and after, but I don't
Okay.
think he's going to have much during. Because is it, does NBC have the game this year? Because I think it was CBS then Fox the last 2 years. I think it's NBC.
Man, I got to think about it now.
I'll check. Go ahead with the next one. I'll check.
So, yeah, so we're going to say over under 2. Murph and I are both going to say, we're going to say under, because I'm not going to pick over 2. I think it might be 2. So I'm going to pick under 2 as well. Because my magic number is 2 for famous Jameis.
Wait a minute. Fox has it 2 years in a row?
That was my guess. My guess was Fox, and I was like, I think I'm.
Wait a minute. So how does Fox have it again? They just had it last year.
Because they're wonderful. So.
Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Did
Hang on.
NBC have it last year? Well, NBC, wait. NBC had it when the
No, because
Eagles beat
CBS
the
had it
Patriots.
last year, I think.
When the Eagles beat the Patriots, NBC had it because Collinsworth was like making out with Tom Brady. And
Now here's a guy and Patrick Mahomes.
okay,
Oh my God,
here we
that's
go.
funny.
How many left-handed passes will Pat Mahomes throw in the game? 1, 2, or more?
0.
0, Murph says. Okay, so
0.
So how many left-handed passes
It was
by by Mahomes in the game? Murph says
no, last year was CBS. My bad.
okay, so Murph says 0. I'm gonna say that Mahomes throws at least 1 left-handed pass in the game. Okay. Over
So
under
remember last year Nickelodeon did
yeah.
a Super Bowl broadcast.
Over under missed field goals, the number is 2.
Well, I don't think Butker's gonna miss any, and I think maybe I'm gonna go under. I'd say under.
Okay.
I also don't think there's going to be a whole lot of field goals.
I'm gonna say under as
I'm thinking it's going to be a high scoring game.
yeah, I'm gonna say under as well. I got to do this one because it's an oldie but a goodie. Coin flip, heads or tails.
Tails never fails, baby.
Okay. Coin flip. Murph says tails. I was thinking about this and I was like, man, I feel like it's gonna be tails, but just for argument's sake, I'm gonna say heads.
I always say tails.
I'm gonna give heads a thing. Now, I think if comes up tails all the time, then it's Two Faces coin from Batman, and it's just tails on both sides. So, but I'm gonna go with heads on that one. I'm gonna go with the less famous. All right, let me think. There was another. Okay, here's one way out of left field. Will we see an Avengers Doomsday teaser? This movie is like, it's not coming out this year, but will we see an Avengers Doomsday teaser?
My guess would be, because it's not coming out this year, my guess would be no.
So Avengers Doomsday, I'm gonna say yes.
For the record, folks, most of the superhero stuff I know zero about.
Yeah,
I'm just taking a guess.
I'm gonna say yes. Murph's gonna say no. Will we see a Spider-Man trailer of any kind?
Don't we see one like every year?
No, we don't. But will we see a Spider? I don't know why this is in my head, and Spider-Man's my favorite character. Will we see?
Are there any Spider-Man movies that are supposed to come out? Because I don't follow.
They're working.
To me,
on Spider-Man
there will only
4.
be one Spider-Man, and it is Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, they're working on Spider-Man at the moment. So will we see?
So my guess is probably not.
All right. So Murph's gonna say no. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna have high hopes.
Yes, you can quote me on that. Tobey Maguire is the one and true Spider-Man.
All right. And for those of you coming in for Gavin Walsh, he's coming up in just a second. Do you have any prop bets for me before we round this out?
Ooh. If the Chiefs win, does Travis propose to Taylor?
Oh, the fake relationship? So...
Because there's rumors about that.
I know. All I'm saying is I hope it's real. If it's staged, that's really sad.
I hope it's real too.
So,
I don't think the Swifties could handle it if it wasn't real.
Will Kelsey propose if Kansas...
The caveat is if they win.
If Kansas City wins. I'm going to say yes.
I think so too.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes on this one.
We need to see a Carlos Correa style proposal out of Travis Kelsey. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up when Carlos Correa proposed to his girlfriend after the Astros won the World Series in 2017.
Okay.
That was awesome.
I got one more.
It caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Is this real? This isn't real. There's a Fantastic Four preview that just popped up on my social medias, and this is ahead of the big game. Oh, this needs to be saved. I'm gonna definitely be doing
I got one more for you.
I'm gonna be doing a Super Powered Pop. By the way, folks, Super Powered Pop, our entertainment show, part of the Dan Tortora broadcast media family. We interview illustrators, writers, actors, actresses, people, from all over the artistic world, and we also talk about a bunch of things. I will be doing a broadcast in reference to what's going on here with this Fantastic Four thing. Just want to let you know, some point today, Super Powered Pop on Facebook, X, and Instagram is at Super Powered Pop, and we have a channel on YouTube. Just look us up, Super Powered Pop. I have to let you know that, shameless plug, because I just saw that, and I'm going to freak out a little bit for that part of my world. All right, Murph, what do you got?
All right. Over under 4.5 big game commercials that we have zero clue what they are about until the end.
There was definitely the Matthew McConaughey Uber Eats one that was playing during the championship games. The only way you know it's Uber Eats is because there's an Uber Eats bag next to him. There's no reference to it whatsoever. So over under 4.5.
Over under 4.5.
Over under 4.5 commercials. We have no idea what they are. We have no idea what they are. I am going to say because I feel like I sit here with my dad and I go, what the hell was that? So I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, I think 4.5 was too low. I'm taking it 2.
I'm gonna say over. I'm like, what is this nonsense that's on here? So over. Okay, how about this? Will we see a commercial about Jesus? Keep in mind they've had Jesus type commercials where there's been like a thing that's connected toward faith in some way. It seems like there's been a Jesus reference commercial in recent Super Bowls. Will we see it again?
I don't remember those.
Yeah, there has been. Will we see Jesus reference commercial?
I want to say yes, but I feel like we won't.
Okay. Murph says no. I'm going to say yes. And then I had one. Oh, here we go. Does Jason Kelce come out of retirement because the Eagles need a center for one day to play against his brother?
No. Will Jason Kelce wear a Travis Kelce jersey at the game? Because he's gonna be in the box with Kylie and Taylor and Donna and probably Brittany Mahomes and everybody. So
yeah,
he's gonna be in their suite.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. I think he's gonna wear a Taylor Swift shirt. But here's my question to you: does Jason Kelce take his shirt off?
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes.
So we have,
regardless of outcome.
Yes, exactly. So we have, does Jason wear a Travis jersey? Murph and I said, did you say yes or no?
No.
I said no. And then will Jason Kelce be shirtless at any point in the game? That answer is yes. As Murph said, regardless of outcome, we're going to say yes. So with that being said, those are our prop bets. We have plenty of them for you folks. If we have any more, we'll share them with you. And with that being said, for DT and Murphy, we have coming up in just a moment. Thank you for your patience. We were having some fun creating some laughs here this week going into the big game. So thank you for your patience for Gavin Walsh's story. Murph, thank you as always. Enjoy the game this weekend, and I will look forward to talking with you soon.
Yes, sir.
That coming from the man, Murph. DT and Murphy here with you, typically on Mondays. Been with you on Tuesday these last couple weeks, so we thank you for being with us. We're going to take a quick step aside. Gavin Walsh coming up in just a moment, where sports meets life. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We are proud to be here with you in these Great Lakes Honda City Studios Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe here on Wake Up Call. And of course, Binghamton, a proud partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, an exclusive multimedia marketing partner. And as we step into year 2 with the Binghamton University Bearcats, I can't believe we're already a year through. We've told a lot of stories. We have the opportunity now to tell the story of Gavin Walsh, who is a 2-time America East Player of the Week for the men's basketball team of the Bearcats, coming off of just being named Player of the Week most recently here in this Bearcat Breakroom. Gavin, how are you?
Doing well, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I got to give a shout out to the hat. I call them skull caps or beanies or whatever, but I'm always wearing it. And I got to tell you something. I was covering the College Football Playoff National Championship, and my favorite one was black, and then you could flip it and make it gray. I left it on the media bus coming from the game, the media shuttle. So I'm coming out of the National Championship, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I leave it on the bus. The bus driver gave it to another media person. Nobody turned it in. So someone's got my skull cap somewhere. So...
that doesn't sound good, but they sure are comfy, and I find myself wearing it all day, especially in the cold here, so we need it, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, with the cold happening, the team, on the other hand, is heating up here at this point in the season. You guys came off of a losing streak and were able to break that losing streak and get yourself 2 consecutive wins here for the Binghamton University Bearcats men's basketball team. And so as much as I want to get into what happened most recently, I'd like to do both here. Vermont and Albany. Vermont was at home. Albany was on the road. Those 2 wins snapped a 5-game losing streak. Just bring me into where the team's kind of place mentality, the mentality was coming out of that 5-game losing streak, and what you did to shift into these last 2 wins as a group.
No, that's a great question. And it's kind of funny because you would think that a team, especially in nowadays college basketball, with it being almost all business, would be really down and just sort of upset. But we were the complete opposite. We came into practice Monday, ultra confident, having so much fun. And I got to give Coach B credit, Coach Brian Johnson. He came in with just one of the best energies and attitudes that I've ever felt in a practice. And he started playing Coldplay on the speaker. Our new team song is Sky Full of Stars, and we have it playing before the games, every practice, all practice long, and it's just really boosted our morale. And I think that sort of boost of morale and just ultra confidence and just hard week of practice, a great week of practice, really propelled us to be able to win Thursday. And like I said in the interviews that I had after the game versus Vermont, man, I feel like if we played any team in the country that Thursday, we were going to win. And we knew we were winning that game from wake up Thursday morning until even down 10-0 to start the game. We were not worried. We knew we were going to come back and get the job done. So it was it's a real team effort, and just super proud of everyone. And we're having a blast playing. So we're ready to rock and roll and keep moving forward.
You said it didn't matter who you played on that Thursday. You played the University of Vermont on that Thursday, January 30th, won at home 75-72. Why make a statement like that? It doesn't matter who the opponent was. Doesn't matter who's coming into our gym. We're winning this game. It's not going to be 6 in a row. How did that happen with this team that you said we all just kind of collectively said, no one's beating us, doesn't matter the opponent, we're winning this Thursday night?
Well, so it's really started with Coach L's philosophy, Coach Sanders' philosophy, and he always talks about. Now we do a lot of scouting, but he always talks about it doesn't matter how much scouting we do. It doesn't matter about what the other team has. If we play our brand of basketball, if we limit the turnovers and we rebound and we make our shots and play the defense that we play, we're able to win any game, any night. So just really with his philosophy, it's all about us. And then also with that Vermont game, like I said previously, we were just so locked in as a team and ready to change the season around. We developed a new team motto. Previously, since last year, our team motto in the huddle, when we break it down, has been buckle up. This year we changed it. Right before the game, we changed it to not today. And throughout the whole game, every media timeout, every other timeout, we were coming together as a team, up in the game or down, if they were on a run or we were on a run. We just had ultra confidence and great energy from the bench and the guys playing. And we just kept telling each other, it's not happening today. We're not losing today. So not today is really stuck. And we sort of take that motto and run with it.
Who was the one that shifted it from buckle up to not today?
Well, it started from Coach L saying, actually Coach B telling us, writing down on the locker room board before the game, not today, in quotations. But after the game, I got to give myself credit. I was the one who was like, we're changing buckle up to not today. And then right after that, it's stuck, and we've been saying it ever since.
So you guys say, which I feel like in those moments, that 1, 2, 3, and you put your hands together and you just hear that collective, not today. I feel like for me, if I was in that huddle and I played basketball for a while from age 7 all the way through high school and got recruited D3, if I'm in a huddle and I hear not today, that struck something in me when you said that. Is that now going to continue to be? Was that the motto at the next game, the victory that you just had, and is it going to be the one moving forward? Are we sticking with not today?
No, most definitely. Most definitely are. We said it all week at practice. We said it right before the Albany game, throughout the Albany game, and we said it today in practice, so it's going to stick for sure.
I love
And
it.
another thing that's going to stick is the Coldplay. As a team, we're loving Coldplay, and we're loving the song, so it's bringing a lot of good energy.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. The lyrics, for those that don't know, I know the song, "A Sky Full of Stars." It goes back and forth. Very simple song, and it says, "Because you're a sky full of stars. I'm going to give you my heart." So we know that we have that sky full of stars. This team, a bunch of stars together in one sky, essentially a bunch of student athletes together on one team. And then it says, "I don't care. Go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Because in a sky full of stars, I think I saw you." So why this song? Why did this one catch on? I mean, I look at the motif of it and say, y'all a bunch of stars in this greater sky of the Binghamton Bearcat family. And then I look at the fact of you saying, no matter who's against us trying to tear us apart, we're going to keep focusing on the fact that we're a sky full of stars. So I can see it from my point of view. Why do you think it's stuck? I mean, is it what I'm saying? Is it something else that made this song stick?
You know, Dan, I hadn't really thought of that as we've been listening to it. I'll be honest with you. When that song comes on, and I've loved that song in the past, but right now it just means so much to us that I tell you what, every time I hear that song start playing, I start getting goosebumps and I'm ready to run through a roof. So, I mean, you'd have to ask Coach B. I wish I had that answer for you, but he came into practice last week on Monday and started playing it, and we were like, I mean, you know us. Normally, we're listening to rap music and trying to get ourselves pumped up to that. But this sort of change in energy is really it's helped us. And I don't know the true motif behind it, but whatever it is, it's working. And one thing we didn't know was before the game, Vermont, I forget what song normally comes on right before the tip when we walk out of the huddle and get ready to start the game.
Yeah.
But he surprised us all somehow and changed it to "Sky Full of Stars." And when I heard that, man, whoo, it was hard not to. As soon as the whistle blew, it was hard not to run out there and get 5 fouls in the first minute because I was so pumped up. But I was able to get myself under control and then just play the game. So it was a good surprise and it got us all going. That's for sure.
So an assistant on the team, Brian Johnson, he brings this song to practice, and then he surprises you and puts it in a game. And now, not today, which he wrote on the board, and then you said to the guys, that stuck. And then Brian Johnson brings "A Sky Full of Stars," that stuck. So is this, I mean, we know that not today is the motto. So is the theme song "A Sky Full of Stars"? Is it just something that you feel like, hey, you heard it, it did something to you, it put you on some level, like you said, ready to go through the roof, ready to go out there with the energy. So is this just the right song for the team right now in this moment that you're going to carry as well?
No, it absolutely is. You laid it out perfectly. Some of the guys they don't love it. They would rather be listening to a Little Baby or another rapper, but everybody else, I mean, everybody has gotten together and really gotten behind the song and gotten behind the what it means when we're hearing it. What it means is coming together as a unit and just having fun, and because that's what it is. And I think during that 5-game losing streak, we weren't looking at it as fun. We were looking at it like, man, we got to get out of this. But then we just shifted our energy and we were like, you know what? We're gonna go out there. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna play basketball. We're gonna win, and we're gonna do it the way that we all want to do it, which is playing the way we love to. So it's just I can't even explain it to you too much, Dan, but it's working. So we'll keep running with it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes because you come into an arena and you hear a song and you think, I don't think about that when I think about this team, but it's just something that like works with the team. And in the moment, it just fits. And it's fit with you guys so far. We're on this 2-game winning streak. After you go up against Vermont at home and you get that victory and you start with not today, we see the team move on and get a victory at Albany 65-61. These close matchups because you had, and the last time you played Albany was just a few games ago, lost by just a few points there, a 5-point game difference, and you see them again and you win by 4. So how did you flip the script on Albany, who you had seen just a couple weeks before you saw them again on February 1st?
Well, going back to that Albany game and going back to the 5 losses we've had in conference, we've all truly felt like we gave away each one of those games. And those are all 5 of those games we feel like we should have won. And so really just having that confidence that we know once we get ourselves to play a full game and play full 40 minutes all together as one unit, unselfishly, that we're going to come out with these wins. And so going into Albany, we would have loved to beat them by a little bit more, but they're our rivals, so going into their place and beating them in more of a close game is more of a demoralizing loss to them, so we'll take it. But definitely was a great gritty win, and we grinded out a win, so we'll take it. It's hard to win one basketball game, so especially on the
and like you said, I mean, the America East, there's a smaller number of teams. We've seen some of these conferences balloon to 18 schools, 16 schools, and whatnot, 14. In the case of the America East, y'all really get to know each other in close quarters. And you said Albany's your rival, but just what you could say about overall the America East, what it does. I mean, do you like that you're in a conference that has less schools and it's not, in the case of the ACC, they play 31, each team in there plays 31 games. 20 of them are in conference, so they really don't get a chance to play a lot of non-conference games. You guys get a great non-conference schedule. You get challenged to that non-conference. And then you get into this gritty, close quarters. There's a small number of us here in the America East as opposed to, having almost 20. Do you like being in a conference that isn't ballooned out like that and you can have these matchups where you're going to see everybody twice a year?
That's a great question. And I would say I definitely do like the smaller, more close-knit conference feel, just because on 2 different levels, I really love one thing that it might sound funny, but one thing that I really loved is just the sort of friendly banter. Now, it's a competition, so every team wants to win, but the friendly banter that goes on in the games, whether it be on the foul line, talking to the other team, or talking to another guy that you're guarding, and you know how he plays. You've scouted him for years, and you've played against him many times. I like that sort of feel. And another thing that I like about it is because you're getting scouted so much, and the other teams know how you play. When you're able to perform well and play well against them, I feel like it means a little bit more, because that it shows that you can do what you do better than they can stop it and scout it. So I think I really do like that small conference feel.
And we look at that Albany game and we talk about this, like you said, winning in those close close margin. They beat you by a couple possessions. You beat them by a couple possessions. We go back and look at that and the excitement that you had in that game. We also look at the fact that in the Vermont game, and I didn't realize this until I went and looked at it, it snaps a 22-game, decade-long losing skid to a conference kingpin. So beating Vermont snaps a 22-year losing side of things against them. That's huge for this program. I mean, this Binghamton Bearcats program a decade or so ago was going through a lot of stuff, turmoil, change, and whatnot, being a team that wasn't winning a lot of games. To defeat Albany, which you said that's our rival, and then to defeat Vermont and have a 2-decade-long losing streak to them. Just bring me into that. You and your teammates being a part of history. And like you said, against Vermont, it didn't matter who was coming in. You said, not today. It's not going to happen today. Well, y'all just happened to make history in that game as well.
So obviously that was a huge game for the program and for the history of the school. And I tell you what, last year, one of my best friends, Dan Petcash, I call him basically like an older brother to me. Man, he's played against Vermont, I think, more than 10 times in his career for 5 years, and he'd never beaten them. So he was my first call after we beat him because I was so happy to be able to tell him that we beat him for him. And we got videos from other past teammates crying and just tears of joy, and the alumni in the crowds, the fans, coach, all of our coaching staff, everybody in the program, fans included, who hasn't seen a Binghamton team beat Vermont in so long. It felt incredible for us to beat them and to sort of kick back our season and start the winning streak back, but it felt great to be able to show the fans that we did it for them. So it was awesome.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. I said 22-year, 22-game over around a decade long there. 2015 is when the losing streak started, 22 games in a row, and you snapped that 22-game losing streak. And I remember Mr. Petcash well, so I'm happy that you brought him up and showed him some love. Your story, when we look at your connection to basketball, Gavin, you come from Loyola Blakesfield High School in Baltimore, Maryland. So, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, is this man a Ravens fan? Did you grow up a Terps fan? I don't know where you stand with all this stuff, but I love to hear, little Gavin Walsh growing up in Baltimore, Maryland. What was life like, and how did basketball happen?
No, so I mean, I love to reminisce a little bit. So, I grew up basketball family, sports family. I guess we could say it started with my uncle, Billy Barnes, who was a Hall of Fame player at William & Mary, played against Jordan, played against Barkley, just an absolute legend. And so he was sort of the first one in our family to really have success with it. And then my mom, she played basketball. She actually had a scholarship opportunity to go to Maryland and be a Terp. She ended up going to Maryland but not playing basketball. And then my father was a great basketball player too, but a great soccer player as well. He went to St. Joe's University in Philly. And and then my older brother as well. He played at Boys Latin School of Maryland in around the Towson area. Okay. And he was sort of the first one to sort of, I would say that he sort of paved the path for me. And what I mean by that is he played on the high-level AAU teams, the EYBL, the UAA teams in Baltimore. He developed relationships with the coaches and through his character and through his play. Same thing goes for high school. When he was getting recruited in high school, I still remember his recruiting process. And so his character and his play sort of paved the path for me, being around him all the time and just meeting everybody. They knew who I was. And so when I started developing, I had great connections already.
Okay.
Able to sort of lean on my brother. And everybody in the area thought I was going to go to Boys Latin and follow his footsteps, but I chose to take my own path and go to Loyola Blakefield under Coach Josh Davali, and just had a great time there. I love the school. Super proud of my time there. And then, you know, one thing that has sort of some people look at it with sort of a sketchy eye is in the Baltimore area. You play for a lot of different AAU teams most of the time.
Yeah.
So I played for more than I can count just
Okay.
throughout my years. But the most influential team to me and the team that I call home is Team Mello.
Okay.
I mean, Team Mello has done so much for me. The coaching staff, Coach Sam Brand, Coach Zito, all of them they've taught me so much through the game and outside of the game with community service and everything that they do for the community in Baltimore is just second to none. And then even Carmelo himself, I've got a great relationship with Carmelo. He's he's a guy that I'm always super proud to say that I've met him, and not only met him, but am able to. He told me I'm able to give him a call or text if I ever need anything. So when you have a guy like that who's a basketball, just one of the greatest to ever play the game, it's a great connection to have, and just have learned through so much through them and throughout my time there, and that sort of propelled me in my basketball career. But then going back to my family, I'm a big family guy. I know my family's going to be watching this tomorrow, so I want to tell them I love them, and I'm just so thankful for all their support. And give a big shout out to my little sister, because sometimes I forget her on the interviews. So Annabelle, how you doing? She's a stud too. She's going to Denver for lacrosse. She's a junior right now, so she'll be there in 2 years. And then she's got a twin brother, Rowan, who is he's big time, man. He's about 6'6", 250 tight end football player at Good Counsel, and they're nationally ranked. And he's blowing up right now. He's every day it seems like he's getting at least two or three new offers. So we'll definitely see him in the NFL. So that'll be fun to watch. But throughout with my older brother Connor and Rowan and Annabelle and my parents, we've had some great 3-on-3 games in the backyard. Whatever sport, some great 2-on-2 games, and we're just real closely knit. And that's sort of that family bond that we have, and it sort of shaped all my decisions of where I'm going to school, who I'm playing for, um, just because I know I really want to be around sort of that family atmosphere, that family feel. And then that's ultimately why I chose Binghamton, because I mean the coaching staff here is just second to none. I mean, it's not a lot of head coaches in the country that'll get up on a Saturday morning with you bright and early and just rebound with you one on one. And that's something that Coach Lavelle Sanders does for us. And the assistant coach is just amazing and just truly a family feel. So, and then ultimately, before I chose to come to Binghamton, I was playing on the Nike EYBL circuit and blew up there and got a bunch of scholarship offers coming out of high school, but then ultimately just decided to go to IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Sarasota, Florida,
Yeah.
for a post-grad year, just to sort of develop my skills and my body and just make sure that when I came into college, I was able to hit the ground running and make an immediate impact. So just throughout guidance from my family, my faith, I'm really a religious guy. I truly believe that God has blessed me with so much, and I'm so thankful for everything that He's given to me. My family, God, and all my connections and relationships I've built in life have got me to this moment, and will keep getting me further along in my career. So just the one word I could say is I'm grateful for everything. So it's truly a blessing.
Well,
But going back to that,
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
asked about Ravens.
yeah.
Now, here's a funny thing for you.
Yeah.
My father's from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My mom's from PG County, Maryland.
Okay.
So you say Ravens fan, but all this is somehow all the announcers on ESPN have found this out, that my house is a family divided when it comes to Sundays. All the boys in my family are diehard Steelers fans, and all the girls in my family, they're all Ravens fans. So when it comes to the Steelers versus Ravens rivalry, it's a house divided, and we butt heads a lot, but it's definitely fun.
I mean, and I would love to see that. I mean, I know some houses, I know some Yankee Mets houses. Steeler Ravens, interesting because they played 3 times this season, and they split the regular season one apiece. So when we got to the postseason and the Ravens won that, bring me into that. Like, what was happening? Because y'all got it, Ravens got it. So like the men's side of it, y'all got your Steelers got a victory in the regular season. Then the women in your family got the Ravens. Then you go to the playoffs, you see that you're playing each other. Here's game 3, the one that's going to decide who's going to move on. The Ravens win that game. Bring me into that. I mean, were y'all together? I mean, you may not have been home because you're in your season, but I mean, what was this like? Were there a lot of people in the house? Were you FaceTiming? Did you get to go there? I mean, bring me into that.
So the one thing that really saved me was that I think we might have had a game right before or had been on the road during the game.
Yeah.
So when we lost, I didn't have to hear too much about it or pay too much mind to it. Now, it was definitely heartbreaking,
Yeah.
but I think all of us guys, as much as we don't want to admit it, I think we knew that the Ravens were going to come away with it. So we weren't too disappointed.
Yeah.
The Ravens were a heck of a team this year, and just they deserved the win. So all in all, it was definitely heartbreaking, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad of a clash. We were all still talking the next day, so it was all right.
What has been the biggest feuding chapter of Ravens Steelers in your family? Do you remember a specific game where the men and women in your family were so bitterly at each other's throats? Is there a game that you could go back to and be like, we didn't talk after this, we didn't eat at the same table after this game? I mean, can you bring me into one of those?
So, it might sound a little bit contradictory,
Okay.
but when I was really young, my grandfather Pop-Pop and my Grammy, they used to take me to Ravens games. And at that time, I was sort of propelled into being a Ravens fan when I was real young. My father hadn't really been able to get his reins around me yet.
Okay.
So I remember laying in my mom's bed, and my brother and my father were at M&T Bank, and they were there with my Grammy and my Pop-Pop and my Uncle Ryan, and they were there. Grammy and Uncle Ryan and Pop-Pop, they're all diehard Ravens fans too. So it was just Connor and my dad at the game versus that side of the family.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the game with my mom, and when the Ravens would score a touchdown, I would cry because I was upset that the Steelers were losing for my dad and my brother. And then when the Steelers would score a touchdown, I was crying because I was upset for the rest of the family. So other than that sort of split feeling,
Yeah.
there hasn't been. And then eventually my father was able to pull me in and be like, "Come on now, you're dying with the black and gold." So other than that, I feel like the main time that the family there was a little bit of a eerie feeling, a little bit of a awkwardness was, I can't remember how many years ago it was. Might have been 3 or 4 when the Ravens versus Steelers played on Christmas Day. And I remember being at my grandparents' house and Antonio Brown catching that goal line touchdown and forcing his way to put the ball over the goal line. And we were happy, but we were in Ravens territory, so we didn't celebrate too much because, oh man, it wouldn't have been good if we were hooting and hollering. But that Christmas dinner was a little iffy. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth sailing. We're all happy for each other, but it's a good question.
So, Russ the Bus, Justin Fields, you're hoping they draft Kyle McCord from Syracuse or somebody else. What do you want for the future of the Steelers?
I think Russell did well this year, but I really hope, and my brother and my father and my little brother will back me up on this, we're hoping we go with Fields.
Okay.
Like the young guy, we like the new evolving game of football and the new sort of quarterback run and roll. And so we're hoping that we go with Fields, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Here with Gavin Walsh. I got a feeling and I got a sense for this because we do things differently at Wake Up Call, if you haven't noticed already. And we're doing this Bearcat Breakroom with you, but I feel like the next time we do something, or maybe not too distantly down the road, we do a little family affair one, and we give a little shout out to your sister who's doing her thing about, going to Denver in a little bit. Give a little shout out to your brother out here who you think is going to be one of those players in the NFL someday. and maybe we find a way to get the band together here and do a little Brady Bunch thing and put like the Walsh family up on the call and see if we can get you all to do something together. I feel like that would be fun.
That would be a blast, and I know they would love to do that. So
Awesome.
that would be something, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, before we get into rapid fire, where you and I get to put each other on the hot seat, Gavin, looking at this season and knowing that obviously your non-conference play is one season, your conference play is a whole new season. What did you learn from the non-conference season, from those games that you had, the challenges that you had? How did it prepare you for the America East, in your opinion?
So one thing that I learned after I love watching Coach Sanders is his interviews, just because I think he's such an insightful guy, especially about the game. And one thing he was talking about was that I didn't know that most teams sort of build their non-conference schedule to sort of match the game styles of teams in conference. So I just think that playing a variety of different teams and styles and um, defensive schemes, offensive schemes, I didn't know that each of those games were sort of building us and trying to prepare us for when we get into conference. So I think just having that non-conference schedule really helped us, and that 5 game losing streak might say differently, but we've learned so much, and like I said before early on in this, we're hitting the ground running, and we're elevating and we're moving up. So I think a non-conference schedule like we had is truly important to be able to play your best basketball at this time, which is what you want to be doing.
Absolutely. And as the team looks to catch fire here, going through the America East and heading toward the America East tournament, and as people know, or if you don't know, if you win your tournament, you automatically punch your ticket to the greater NCAA tournament, which is the hope for every team every season, including these Bearcats, and I hope you guys get the opportunity here and do what you need to do. I have to ask you this. He's been on the show before. You talked about having a strong faith. I know this guy does too. Taimu Chenery. Is there anybody on your team that posterizes people like Taimu does? And is there anyone that you can look to and go, because I asked him, I said, do you have a favorite dunk? Do you have a favorite moment? And he's talking to me about, different things and whatnot. I like his personality, like your personality. Got to be around some other guys, got to be around Coach, obviously, Lavelle Sanders for a while now. Is there anybody that can create a moment at the rim on your team currently like Taimu?
Taimu he's a flyer, man, and he's one of the most athletic guys I've played with, played against, just been around. And when he's coming down the lane and he's going up for that dunk, you don't want to be anywhere in that area. But I think another guy, I got 2 guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Evan Ash.
Okay.
He's a freak athlete, man. I mean, I would say close to a 50-inch vert, and he's had some posterizing dunks this year, and I mean, just one of the best on-ball defenders and one of the most athletic guys that I've played with. Him, and then I'm gonna go myself.
Okay.
I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I had definitely the greatest dunk of my life. One of the greatest dunks that I've seen.
Okay.
Versus Lafayette earlier this year. I had a pretty nasty posterizer on a 7-footer versus Lafayette, and that just it felt awesome. So, and Taimu was right there celebrating with me. So, Taimu and I come from sort of the same area. We sometimes he drove me back here from home for Christmas break. So,
Okay.
me and Ty's relationship is really good, and what a guy he is. And I mean, funny you talk about the face side of things. Right after the game, I was on Twitter, and when they posted that his sort of game sealing move at the end there, what does he say? He quotes it, and he's like, "All glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." So
Yeah.
I saw that and immediately went and sat next to him and just gave him a big dap up. And I mean, when you got guys of character like that, they're fun to be around. So you want to surround yourself with those kind of people, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you are the company you keep. And I saw that same thing that he put up, and I wrote back to him. I said, I love this. So, I can appreciate that so very much. And for those of you that may not know or maybe forgot, that's a Lafayette Classic early on in the season in non-conference play after losing by just 3 points, 1 possession to Niagara. and all these games in Easton, PA. We saw back-to-back victories for the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball team, both in overtime. And in that game where you had that posterizing dunk over a 7-footer, your team won 82-81 over Lafayette College, who was hosting the Classic. Right before rapid fire, most important question to me, selfishly, is why have the faith that you have? Where did this come from? Because I have lived growing up as a kid, it was like 9 out of 10 people believed in God. If you didn't talk about God and you didn't say your prayers, you got a little slap upside the head in school, and it was normal to believe in God. Then I said, wow, I somehow went from being a kid and believing in God was great and it was wonderful to feeling kind of on the outside looking into society, feeling ostracized, especially these last 4 years or so, last few years, feeling very strange about how society was becoming in America. And now I'm seeing people go out and talk about God. I'm seeing athletes go out and do it so openly, and I love it and I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm always going to believe in God and I'm always going to talk about God. But like I said, I lived at a time where I felt like it was the thing that most people were doing. And then recently I felt like at times I was by myself. And now I've been living in a world where I'm seeing it. You know, you're talking about it. Bunch of student athletes at Binghamton have spoken with me about it, of all different sports. My buddy Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Notre Dame, he's been open about it. Interviewed Will Howard, the quarterback for Ohio State. He's talking about it. So I'm seeing it in all these different places now, and I love it. Where does your faith come from, and why is it important for you to not hide your faith?
So it really all started like how I feel it starts in most sort of Catholic families. Started early with my parents, my grandparents.
Yeah.
And I think my parents, it definitely started with their parents, and especially with my grandfather. And rest in peace, Papa. I passed away 4 or 5 years ago, and
Sorry.
no, it's definitely tough, and remember him every day. And before I talk a little bit more about how it started, I'll start there first. But with my Grammy and my Papa, they're really faithful and really religious, and they taught my father that, and my mom's parents, my other side of my other grandparents, they taught her well too on the same thing, and went to Catholic school in elementary school, and that sort of propelled me to receive the first sacraments, excuse me. And just ever since then, just remembering to thank God and just be grateful for everything that He's given me has sort of helped me along the way. And through confirming my own faith with confirmation, I was truly excited to do that, because like I said, I know how much God has given me and my family, and we're just so blessed, and the blessings keep coming every day. So, I mean, how could you not say God is good and God is great? And you look around in the world, and there's a lot of evil going around in the world, but when you look at little things for me, like nature or even a song or something like that, other people, how can you not see God? And that's what I believe. And so just my faith has carried me along my path through the ups and downs. And one quick thing is one of my favorite, it's not really a prayer, but one of my favorite little I don't know if I'd say you could almost call it a poem sort of thing. A little short story is called Footprints in the Sand.
Mm-hmm.
It just talks about how it's a quick story about how there's this guy who's walking on the beach with Jesus, and there's good times. There's 2 sets of footprints, and then through the bad times in the guy's life, there's only 1 set of footprints. And he's asking Jesus, Jesus, when I'm going through good times, you're there with me, but when I'm going through bad times, where are you? You're not there anymore. And Jesus looks at him and he goes, when you're going through your bad times, I'm the one who's carrying you. Yeah. And that just, ever since I read that, it's stuck with me. And when there's a lot of ups and downs in basketball, there's a lot of ups and downs in life. So just remembering to stay even keeled and knowing that God's got your back is something that's truly important to me. And right before the games, I always pray and say a quick prayer and to say this game's for you, Pop Pop and Grandmom, who are up there watching. That was one of the last words my grandfather said to me was, no matter where I am, I'm always going to be watching you and being proud of you playing basketball. So it means a lot to me. And then, I do my handshake for the starting lineup, and everyone always asks. I always go like this, and everyone always asks, "What does that mean?" And Antonio Brown on the Steelers sort of it all connects.
Yeah.
He started this thing called God, and so that's what I always do. And so right before the game, I call God, and then we get ready to play. So it's all revolving and just throughout the ups and downs, just being thankful to God. And I'm doing really well this year, so I got to give credit to God and just be ever so grateful. And you were talking about how sometimes you sort of feel on the outside looking in. And I've always been going to mass on Sundays growing up, but going to college, it's been tough. Being tired from a game Saturday night or just not really having the access. Last year I didn't have a car up here, so I wasn't able to get to church as often. But I was having this conversation with someone a couple weeks ago, and they were asking me sort of about my faith and what church I go to if I go to church around here. And I haven't gone to church around here too much, but then that conversation sort of sparked me into thinking, let me do some more research and see if there's one close by. And St. Mary's of Assumption is real. It's about 7 minutes away. And I walked in there one Sunday morning, and I was like, wow, this place is incredible. It's a huge cathedral-looking church. I mean, you know how it is with the paintings of Mary and Jesus on the ceiling and all the angels. And so, I mean, every Sunday since, I've just been going there at 11:30 and being thankful for the week God gave me and the week He's leading me into. So, it might all sound cliche, but I truly mean it. I mean, I give all the glory to God. So that's sort of my story with my faith.
Well, I can appreciate that. I was nodding a lot because it's making a lot of sense to me, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And you got me there. I mean, you definitely. I'm sitting here thinking like my mom sees this, my dad sees this, they're probably gonna get a little choked up. But that when you said one of the last things your grandfather said to you was wherever wherever I am, I'm gonna be watching you. Like I'm gonna be watching these games wherever, and I know he is, and that's the beauty. And I tell people, I say this all the time when they say, like, how old, did your grandma pass away? And I said, yeah, G Mama, my mom's mom passed away. And they're like, oh, how old was she, or what type of person was she? And I always say she is. And I tell people, I said, she ain't dead. Like she's not here, but she's living more now than she ever has. She's dancing more now than she ever did. And I'll tell you this story, kind of going off of yours here. Because I'm a strong believer in God, and God has given me irrefutable evidence of His existence, and clear as day. When my grandmother passed away, I got to the house, and I knelt down beside her bed, and I looked at her. She looked different, and I put my hands on her, and I smiled. I said, I know you're not. I said, I know you're not here. That's what I said. I said, I know you're not here anymore. And I just pictured her, knowing her comedy and her faith, that she shot right up to heaven, and she looked at Jesus and looked down at her wrist like time, and she was like, time? Like how fast you get here, how fast I get here. And when she passed away, I don't know when exactly it was, but my grandfather, my mom told me my grandma loved to dance, and my grandfather would take her dance and dance with her all the time. And my grandfather passed away when I was 6. They both did. I saw this gate to heaven, and there's this cloud, and there's this gate, and to the side of the gate it was just open, and you could just see these like clouds, and my grandmother just walked to the side of the gate, and this guy is walking toward her, my grandfather, and he walks toward her. When she got to heaven, he didn't say a word to her. He grabbed her hands up in the air, he put his other hand on her waist, and he just started dancing with her.
Wow.
And I said, that man waited a long time to dance with her. And I remember saying that to God. I said, God, my grandmother's almost 101. I've prayed every time she's gone through things. She had 3 bouts of cancer in her 90s, beat it every time. One of the times she had cancer surgery, she woke up at 10 o'clock at night in the hospital. My mom was the only one there with her. But she woke up and she looked around. She goes, can somebody get me a cup of coffee? First thing she said after going through cancer surgery. And she was always tough. And she is. And she got through all that. And I got to a point with God where I looked up at him. I said, God, she is 100 years old. I have asked you. You have granted. You have given me everything and more. You've answered all my prayers. And my grandfather has waited a long time to dance with his wife. I don't feel like it's fair for me to keep her any longer. And
No.
I know that if their love exists, then true love exists. And it's a reminder of God. And my grandfather passed away over 30 years ago. I think about him every day. So to me, it's like that real, genuine love, when God puts someone in your life and that gift is in your life, they don't leave. You may not see them, but you see them. You may not hear them, but you hear them. You may not feel them, but you feel them. And you just know it's them when it's there. So when you said that, I just kind of pictured, and I've never met your grandfather, and I just kind of pictured this guy laying in bed, looking up at you, grabbing your hand and saying, hey, wherever you're going to be, I'm going to be there. And I'm sure he is.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. He's up there having a feast every game. He's up there with a bunch of crabs and one of his natty bows. So he's loving it.
Well, let's jump into rapid fire. And thank you for sharing that story and sharing some time with your faith with me and with everybody watching and listening. Rapid fire here on the Bearcat Breakroom allows you and I to put each other on the hot seat. We can talk about any subject. There's no prior preparation. There's nothing written down. You get to ask me the first question. What do you got?
Oh, that's a tough one. All right. Well, I'm not a huge NBA fan,
Okay.
but some pretty shocking news just came in. How do you feel about the Luka trade? I love Luka Doncic. So how do you feel about that?
I think it must be nice to be LeBron. So, it must be nice to just be like, go get me an all-star. Give me another all-star. So apparently he didn't know, but bringing in Luka, LeBron's 40, and LeBron, and this is crazy. LeBron and I graduated high school at the same time because I'm 39. And, I think it's great for the Lakers. I think it's insane. The guy's 25 years old, and Dallas just gave away their entire future to make LeBron happy, who may play this year, and that's it. So it's great for the Lakers. It's not great for the Mavs. Not like I discount Anthony Davis, but I guess it kind of seems like some kid turned on his NBA game and it turned on 2K and made a trade and shut off all the rules that would stop the trade. That's kind of what it feels like. So it's like there's no salary cap. There's no questions. When you could go onto your game and just put everybody on your team. So, I guess it's good for LeBron's potential last run or whatever, but it's strange. And we're going to talk about it with Dave Paziak, who's a longtime basketball coach, and just any NBA question you have, you ask Dave. So we'll talk about it this week. But I was just kind of like, okay. I guess Dallas wants to help LA. I guess the only thing I took from it was did they owe them a favor? That doesn't make sense. It makes sense for the Lakers. It doesn't make sense for the Mavericks.
Absolutely right. I agree.
My question back to you, Gavin. Well, we talked about music before. Besides that Coldplay song, is there a song that when you need to just take a step back and you need to kind of just reset yourself or remind yourself who Gavin Walsh is, do you have a song that you go to? Do you have an artist that you go to that allows you to just kind of reset yourself?
I'm a big country music fan.
Okay.
So, I would say anything by Morgan Wallen. Whether it's a win on the bus or a loss on the bus, there's a song for every time, every moment throughout the day.
Okay.
So, Definitely something about Morgan Wallen. Or another one, which is funny because Coach B played this song right before the Albany game too in the locker room, and I had no clue that he was going to do it, but it's called Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker, and I was able. It's a song I've heard at the beach with my family and at our beach house community. Just hearing that song on the speakers just always has sort of resonated with me and just sort of relaxed me. So I love that song. But then one other song is for my mom. Whenever I see my mom, if good or bad, going through good times or bad times, I see my mom, and I always play the song "Mother and Child Reunion" by Paul Simon, and that song just it's my mom and my song, so I love that song too. So no matter what, those that Morgan Wallen, Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker, and Mother and Child Reunion, one of those three for sure.
Okay, I like it. You got one more for me. What is it?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. What's your music taste? But
Yeah.
outside of sports and podcasts and interviews, what's some of your favorite things to do? Let's go in the summer because we're sick and tired of this winter cold. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because one of my nicknames that I got in college is Iceman, and it was my name on the radio station. So I told people, I was like, I guess I'm kind of connected to this weather forever with my nickname. But yeah, I mean, what do I like to get into? Think about warmer weather. I mean, I love to travel. So I really do enjoy that. My dad and I wanted to, I've been wanting, so I'm Italian and I'm Spanish. And so I've wanted to go back, and there may be some other pieces we kind of learn about family, but I know I'm Italian and Spanish. So we've talked for a long time about going back to Italy, going home, and we're doing that this year. So we actually like made the reservations. We know where we're going. Crazy thing happened, and this is where God is like, where people are like, yeah, okay, Dan, I'm sure God did something just for you with billions of people. And I'm like, yeah, I think he does it for everybody if you pay attention. So tell me that God didn't do this for me and my family.
Yeah.
I'm looking up I'm looking up Naples because that's where my dad's family from, my last name Tortora. So I look up Tortora, Naples, Italy. My mom's family, the Cavinos, are from Calabria. I look up Tortora with Naples, and in the search, I find a region of Calabria that is named Tortora, has my family's last name, where my mom's family grew up, my dad's family's name is there, and it's actually like a town or a place. There's a museum Tortora, there's a mountain Tortora, and it's all along the water. So I said to my parents, like, you guys were bound to meet each other. Like, Tortora is in Calabria. So I thought that was crazy. So I told my dad, like, if he doesn't come with me, I'm going to walk there. But I definitely, I'm excited to travel. I love traveling. And, I mean, what do I like to do when the weather breaks? Honestly, I played basketball most of my life, and I owe it to myself to get back onto the court. It's one of the places where I could shut my brain off completely. I absolutely love playing the game. And I'm kind of like toying with this idea, if you think, Coach L and the crew would be okay with this. But I'm kind of thinking that, like, maybe we should do like a Bearcat Breakroom horse where some of you guys play me in horse.
Now that sounds like fun, and we would be all for it.
So, and, I do like taking those half-court shots. So we will see what comes of that. But, yeah, that'd be cool. My question back to you. We haven't talked about food, and somehow I always end up with food when I'm talking to the Bearcats, which makes sense because Bearcats are hungry. So I'm going to give you a breakfast, lunch, and dinner choice. You get to do whatever you want, but it's for the rest of your life. So there's one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner. They're all 3 different meals, but I want to know what's on your plate for the 3 meals for the rest of your life.
That's a great question. And yeah, I'm a big food guy, but the thing is, I'm gonna be cooking
Okay.
because I'm a big time chef. I love my culinary skills. Growing up with my mom, she always taught me how to cook, so
Okay.
that's something that I'm proud of. I'm a little bit of a chef myself.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with but I'm gonna go tie it back to Dan Peckash. I'm gonna go with the Dan Peckash breakfast special.
Okay.
6 eggs. We're gonna go with hash browns, cooked real crispy.
Okay.
We're gonna go with sausage, and then on the side we're gonna have a half an avocado,
Okay.
a piece of sourdough bread with some honey and some salt on it,
Okay.
and a little yogurt bowl with fresh fruit and some more honey and some dark chocolate chips put on top. That's the ideal breakfast. Nutrition, everything, you got everything covered.
All right. I like it.
So lunch we're gonna go with. We're gonna do this for lunch. We're gonna go with a real nice medium rare steak,
Okay.
and we'll go a little bit unhealthy. We'll go with some nice good steak fries as well with that,
Okay.
and that'll take care of a good lunch.
Okay.
And then for dinner, I'm a Maryland guy, and I guess some people say I have a little bit of Southern drawl to me. So we're gonna go with a big seafood platter. So we got Maryland blue crabs, we got some good lobster, we got shrimp, scallops, and I will go with some fresh oysters too. So we'll go with a whole seafood platter and a nice big pot of butter and some. You cannot forget the Old Bay, a big tub of Old Bay. That sounds like a 10 out of 10 dinner to me.
Well, I will tell you this. I do like to cook myself and I'll cook anything. So Old Bay was the correct answer. I checked with the judges. Seafood was the correct answer. Honey was the correct answer. And dark chocolate as well. And having that breakfast with the eggs and a little bit of everything. Honey, I mean, I genuinely... So my grandmother, my mom's mom, my G-mama, she always had sugar with a side of coffee, and I always have honey with a side of tea. So I'm very much my grandmother's grandson, and I absolutely love my honey. I'm notorious for like just doing honey water for my pipes, and I'll just heat up that water, and I'll just some people are a little squirt of honey in there. I'm going like this. And then people are like, all right, Dan. I was like, hey, when I can taste it, we're good. So I definitely like my honey. With that,
I got something for you.
Go ahead. Yeah,
you got to try it, and you got to let me know how you like it.
Okay.
Dan Peckash told me, he's big into nutrition, and he's making a lot of money off of it, helping people out. But he taught me nature's milkshake. It's a nice big glass of milk with some honey in it. And you mix it up. It's got the nutrition, the protein. It's got everything. And I tell you what, it is darn good.
Well, I will tell you, my one of my meals, and typically a breakfast for me, is a homemade smoothie, bananas, strawberries, almond milk, and some peanut butter. But it's not the organic. It's organic, but it's like a healthier peanut butter. So I use the peanut butter, the almond milk, and the bananas and the strawberries. I'm thinking now I might throw some honey in there, but
I have to.
Yeah, but it's very good. So shout out to Pet Cash. And by the way, Daniel, I think that whatever your business is and whatever you're doing, you owe us a partnership money-wise. You owe your guy Walsh some NIL, and you owe Wake Up Call some money, because I don't think I said Daniel Pet Cash when he was on the show as much as you said it today. So shout out to Cash. Shout out to Gavin Walsh and the family, to the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball program, and to Binghamton University overall for this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom on Wake Up Call inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Gavin, it has been my true honor to have you here. I look forward to seeing you in person this season, and I do look forward to you guys, if you'd like to, holding me accountable for my words and playing horse against me.
Anytime, Dan, and thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where He just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York, to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I could tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I want to thank God for being woken up this morning, first and foremost, and I want to thank God for being here with you all today as we continue our Tuesday broadcast into our final element of every Tuesday show, and that is the Ingredients to Success, proudly brought to you by the fantastic team at Avicolli's. The Ingredients to Success from Avicolli's. Avicolli's now open 7 days a week. They are open on Mondays now, so you can find them 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. They have their casual pizza side, they have their fine dining side, and they have their bar connected to the fine dining side. Of course, as always, drink responsibly and only if you're of age. And we appreciate everybody that goes over to Avicolli's and supports such a wonderful, local, longtime community partner in Avicolli's right down the road from Liverpool High School. It's where we do all of our Liverpool on-site, on-location broadcasts with their student athletes. So make sure that you check out all of those coming up. We got something coming up here in February. I'm really excited about it. We'll be announcing it soon. So have a great time with the Liverpool student athletes, coaches, and administration in our monthly shows on site, on location at Avicolli. So we look forward to seeing you there. And of course, we look forward to seeing you there for lunch, dinner, and drinks. And you can also call for catering, delivery, and takeout, 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. You can order online by going to myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. So today's topic in the Ingredients to Success, team over self. And I don't just mean a sports team. I mean husband and wife. I mean parent and child. I mean grandparent and grandchild. I mean neighbor and neighbor. I mean friends. I mean siblings. Team over self. How important is that to you? How important is seeing the group win versus I just want to see me win? I just want to see myself get mine. That's what I ask you today. Is the team important, or is it all about you getting yours at the expense of everybody else no matter what? I'm not saying that you don't go out there and do things for yourself, and I'm not saying that you don't go out there and take care of yourself. I just say that when you go into a business dealing, are you sitting down with a business, creating a partnership that benefits you or that benefits both of you? When you are putting a team together and you're putting that squad together, are you thinking about the team? Are you thinking about the kids? Are you thinking about what they can be? Or are you just thinking about what those kids can do for you? These are the questions that must be asked. Because teamwork, to me, we're better together. Stronger as one. Teamwork is important. I find that households that don't have good teammates between husband and wife, well, those households don't typically stand. Households that don't have a good teamwork between parent and child, well, those households don't seem to do well either. Friends that one friend is benefiting off of the other friend. When something goes awry and there's an argument, there's one friend that always apologizes and there's another friend that just waits for the apology instead of admitting when they're wrong as well. See, a team to me is something that you have to work on every single day. I've always wanted to be a husband and a father. And I've realized that if God gives me that blessing someday, I have to be a good teammate. I have to look at my family as a team. When we get up in the morning and we get ready for school, we got to prepare as a team. Wife's doing this, I'm doing that, kids doing this. Kids are brushing their teeth, wife's making the sandwiches, I'm grabbing the snacks, throw them together, kids come downstairs, here's your meal for the day, love y'all, let's bring you to the bus. Teamwork. Right? System. Jerry said, team us since 1993, and I love that for you and Amanda, Jerry, and God bless you both. And God bless all of your loved ones, now and always, and may you only be well and stay well. And may you see the world the way God sees the world, and be positive always. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. For you, Jerry, and for everybody that needs a prayer, and for Amanda, and for all of your loved ones. God bless you all, and thank you again for the both of you coming out and supporting me on my 21-year anniversary, and supporting me all the time, wherever you are. They say teamwork makes the dream work. And it's funny to me because people say something and they'll say, well, that's cliche. And I've said over time here on the show, cliche is another word for truth. It's another word for knowledge. It's another word for wisdom. So that's what cliche is to me. Because a lot of things that are cliche are true. A lot of things that are cliche, they work. I think cliche is just another way of saying you hear this a lot. So teamwork does make the dream work. Working together. We're a nation divided, right? George Washington said when he was the president of the United States, when he had the opportunity to be a king and rule forever, or be a president and decide how many terms there's going to be, he said two things that I never forgot in history class. He said, stay out of foreign affairs. Plain and simple. Stay out of them. Now, that becomes difficult when you have dictators and people that are killing their own people and genocide and all these things we don't want to believe are real. It's hard to watch the Holocaust and do nothing, right? So staying out of foreign affairs is difficult. He said that. He also said, do not form political parties. They will divide this country. And did we listen? No. Did we form political parties? Yes. Did they divide this country? Yes. And here in 2025, such a long time from when George Washington makes these comments, we failed. We have formed political parties. We are blind. A lot of us, I don't want to say a lot of us, some of us are blind. Some can sit down and have conversations and say, well, I voted for this person and I don't like this person, but this person that I don't like, they're actually doing some good things. Then there's people that are like, I didn't vote for that person. I hate that person. I hope that person dies. I'm never going to be with that person. That person is terrible. Blah, blah, blah. I'm only on this side. I'm on this side. If they set babies on fire, I'm still on this side. There are people that are so crazy that when disaster strikes, and obviously I'm being facetious with saying if they set babies on fire, it'd still be over here. But I'm saying there are people that are so vehemently on one side that they will be on that side even when common sense goes out the window, when logic goes out the window, when morals and values go out the window. There's a lot of things that I've questioned over the years, and especially recently. I question how we can have a Catholic president and then as a Catholic feel like it wasn't safe in society for me to tell people that I was Catholic. How do we have a Catholic president and then have Catholics be shunned at the same time that this person's leading the country? That didn't make any sense. But to people that were so vehemently on that side, they didn't want to listen to that argument. They didn't want to listen to common sense. And then there's people on the other side that'll say certain things and believe certain things, and they're going to believe it no matter what you say. So my thing is, it's not what people say, it's what they do. That's what shows me who you are. You could be Biden, you could be Trump, you could be whoever, whenever in history, but it's what you do, not what you say, that determines to me who you are. Because everyone's going to tell me I'm a good person. Most politicians are going to tell you what you want to hear. But how many people are going to do good things? And I think in this country, we have not become a team. We're divided. We're self. If you're Democrat, then Republicans hate you. If you're Republican, then Democrats hate you. If you're liberal, then conservatives hate you. If you're conservative, then liberals hate you. You could agree on every single subject except for one. And if you don't agree on that one thing, well, I can never be your friend. Friendships end. People on social media stop following each other. They delete each other. They harass each other. We're not a team. We're not a team. When I was a kid, if you voted for someone and they lost, you went, oh man, that stinks. I really wanted them to win. In elementary school, we would pick who we were voting for, even though we couldn't vote. And these kids would vote for this person, and these kids would vote for that person. And if you won, it was like, great. And if you lost, you went to lunch and you sat with your friends and you talked about Ninja Turtles and Barbies and you went out to recess and you had a good time. We forgot as adults to talk about other things and then to go have recess with each other, to go just have a good time, right? Half the country wanted this person, the other half of the country wanted that person. One person's going to win, one person's going to lose. How about this? The Eagles or the Chiefs are going to win. If you're a Chiefs fan and you win, great. If you're a Chiefs fan and you lose and the Eagles win, okay, well then and then we go on with our lives. We've lost a sense of team in this country. And it makes me sad because I have conversations with people with things that I believe in. And I feel like some people won't listen to me no matter what I say. But there's things that I believe in. I don't ever want to vote for a president that doesn't believe in God. That's my choice. If you don't believe in God and you don't practice a faith and you don't have God in your life, I'm not saying you have to have the same faith that I do, but if you don't believe in a higher power and you don't call that power God and you don't proclaim the goodness of God and you don't serve the Lord, I don't want you to be my president. I don't care if it's a man, woman, goat, doesn't matter. That's something that's important to me. So if I see somebody disrespect, defame, degrade, or push down God, I will never vote for that person. I don't care what else they stand for. I'll never vote for them because God is the most important thing to me in anything. If you don't, like, can I talk to people that don't believe in God? Yes, I have. But see, I can have a conversation with someone that doesn't believe in God and I can respect them. I haven't always been respected back. Teamwork, right? I sit down with people and I am willing to sit with you and have a conversation with you. I have been called names. I have been accused of things. I have been called names, and I have been almost shamed into quietness from people that don't believe in God. My response back to them, I sat on a couch, I was calm, and I talked to them and I tried to understand them. They accused me and almost in a way tried to like mentally silence me. And I remember sitting there going, well, I gave this person an open floor, even though we have different beliefs. And their response to me was so degrading that I don't even want to talk to them anymore. See, I can talk to someone who doesn't agree with me, and I'm not going to degrade that person. Have I made mistakes? Have I had moments where someone's just been just attacking me, and I've snapped back? Yeah, I have. I have. On and off the air, I've had those moments where I'm like, wow, this person's really disrespectful, and I snap back, and I shouldn't have, and I apologized, and I was wrong, and I asked God for forgiveness because I don't want to be that way. I don't mind having conversations with people that disagree with me. I mind when they disrespect me. And I feel like this country has been taught to hate instead of love. And the media, if they love one candidate, they hate the other one. And they don't even hide how much they hate the other one. And people just kind of choose sides. I watch this station, I wanted this candidate, I'm for this party, and I hate everybody else. And I just feel like that's why America isn't what we used to be. That's why sometimes I feel like, you know, other countries are playing chess and we're not even playing checkers. We're like playing with worms, eating them in the corner. We have to do better. They've said over and over again that a true and smart enemy of the United States of America will never attack America from the outside, will never attack America with missiles. They will attack America with ideas, and they will let America implode from within. They will feed dissension. They will feed distraction. They will feed subtraction, and then they'll take over. And that's happening right now. That's happening right now. We were a country that we were together no matter what. If we disagreed, it was us against the world, right? Us, US, United States. It was us against anybody who threatened democracy and freedom and God and morals and values and the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now we've become a country of, if you agree with me, I'll support you and I'll defend you. If you don't, well, then I'll let you die. And that's not what my grandfathers fought for. It's not what my grandmothers sacrificed for. It's not what my great uncles went to battle for. That's not what your family's gone to war for. It's not what your family has done to defend us. And I love my country, but I also love the world. One of the most disrespectful comments, and I understand in this movie that they did it to like make this person an unlikable candidate, but in the movie Head of State, when Chris Rock runs for president, good movie, by the way, Bernie Mac is in it, awesome movie, I quote it with Isaac all the time, so go watch Head of State if you haven't, really good show, and got some morals and values in it, also has some comedy. So in that movie, this one guy's quote that's running against Chris Rock is God bless America and no place else, which sounds like a dictator, right? And to me, if I serve God, then I can't hate a nation. I can't hate a religion. I can't hate a certain type of people. I can't hate anybody. I can't hate somebody who hates me. So when people say to me, like, you know, this person's disrespected you over and over and over again, if I were you at this point, I would lash out. I would have cussed this person out. I would have put them in their place. And I said, oh, I could. I could absolutely degrade and disrespect and tear this person apart with my words. I could You know, what do they say? That you can like say something to somebody and you can literally like declothe somebody, right? Make them feel that feeling. It's a figurative thing of like, you know, you can strip somebody down just with your words. And for the moment, your ego is going to feel good, right? You're going to feel awesome. I won this argument. I took a bully and I bullied them. I took them down. I owned them. You know, I'm in power now. And you're going to feel good and you're going to turn around and you're going to take a couple steps if you're like me and you're going to go, wow, that sucks. I feel like crap now. You know, I degraded this person and I put this person down, but now I feel dirty, right? I feel dirty. And I don't ever want to feel that way. So for those of you that are watching and listening, team over self, we can't make this country a team again by just hating on each other, okay? And we can't make this country or this world a team again for God if we keep playing this like, you know, this is my country, this is my state, this is my this is my that, this is me, this is me, this is me. And I don't see the world that way. And I told my mom yesterday, I said, if my ex-wife, and I've said this for years, I said, if my ex-wife disrespected me, put me down, degraded me, lied about me, just was horrible toward me, and then I saw her one day bleeding in an alleyway asking for help, I would pick her up, bring her to my house, tell her to go take a shower. When she was done with the shower, I'd sit down with her, say, what's going on? What happened? I'd feed her and I'd get her back on her feet and have her on her merry way. I don't want her in my house staying with me forever, but I would help her back to safety, because that's what you do when you believe in team over self. That's what you do when you believe in God. God doesn't say, treat others the way you want to be treated, comma, if you like them. Treat others the way you want to be treated if they agree with you. Treat others the way that you want to be treated if they look like you and they sound like you. Treat others the way you want to be treated if it's convenient for you. He says, treat others the way you want to be treated, period. That's the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Most of us want to be treated with respect and kindness. We want to have opportunity. We want to have equality. We don't want to be sworn at and yelled at. We don't want to be put down and chastised and degraded. We don't want to be abused. Most of us, right? That's what we want. But we write our path and say, well, we don't want to be abused, but we abuse this person because they deserved it. Well, we don't want to be yelled at, but we yelled at this person because they're stupid and they don't agree with us. You know how many people can have a conversation? And see, I'm one of those cerebral people where I sit and I listen to how somebody talks. And there's a lot of people that can talk their way into losing an argument and they don't even hear themselves because they're so bent on I'm right, you're wrong, that they don't even hear the fact that they usually give the key to unlock their argument to you while they're talking. You just have to pay attention. When two people are yelling, you're not paying attention. But if you sit down and you're calm, cool, and collected, somebody who's done something wrong or said something disrespectful or they're abusive, if you just sit and wait and listen, they give you the key to the lock of the argument. You just have to wait for it. And I'll call my dad up and I'll go, Dad, I just watched this thing and like, how does this person not see this? How do these people not understand this? Like, how is this not clear? I've talked to my dad numerous times of going, okay, the government said we have more money in our pocket, but we all know that we don't. So how do we go to the grocery store, spend $30, $40, $80 more than we typically spend, and then somebody on the news says, you're making more money, and then we go, okay, like we're robots that have been somehow programmed to just say yes to whatever's said to us. I mean, the reality tells you a lot of things about what's going on in society. And people allegedly are easily controlled by the media. And the scary part of the media in America, because I'm a part of the media in America, is I didn't realize how much power the media in America actually had. That they will say things to people and people will brainwashingly be lifted up off the ground and figuratively follow these people down a tunnel into the mouth of the devil, and they don't even care because they were told that heaven's on the way. I mean, common sense should defeat most of the things that I hear in America today, but it doesn't. Common sense. So if we want to change the world, you can't sit here and rely on a president or Congress or the government or somebody down the street or this, that, whatever. You have to do it. If you want to change the world, then you have to be an example, because they say this all the time, and I don't know how many people believe this. Somebody is watching you. Someone is watching what you say, and they're watching what you do. And that person might emulate what you say and do. So if you only, if you yell at everybody that disagrees with you and you're only friends with people that agree with you, that person's going to emulate you. And some people will be like, great, then they'll be smart. No. Then they will literally cut people off and never give people a chance. You're not always going to be right. You're not always going to be right. Sometimes when you're right, it feels like you're wrong. And sometimes when you're wrong, it feels like you're right. And the only compass of determining which one is true when they both feel, when right feels wrong and wrong feels right, the only compass that I've ever used to figure out if I'm actually right or wrong is God. It's not human beings. It's not a political party. It's not a radio station or a TV station. It's God. It's not a newspaper. It's God. Because what I realized is when I was growing up in America, they told us history books in other countries tell a different story. But I never sat and thought that we told a different story. I always thought America tells the truth. We're the beacon of hope. We're the beacon of freedom. We're the beacon of light. We never lie. But everybody else does. That's how you were treated. I mean, that's how you were raised. Well, in Germany, there's probably books that are saying Hitler was an incredible leader and probably saying he never did anything wrong. But America would never say that. And what I've realized in America, being a part of the media and paying attention to my peers in the media, some people have no desire to tell the truth. They have no desire to be honest, to be forthcoming. They just want you to watch them. They want to make their money. Whatever they got going in this thing, and sometimes it's hard to figure out, beyond money and power, what do these people have in saying the things that they say to people? Because if people believe them, they might hurt each other. So to every person in the media or politician that's ever ignited violence, asked for violence, wanted pain, wanted suffering, stop doing that. Team over self. Team over self. I've been in locker rooms where there's some bad eggs. And I've been in some locker rooms where there's good eggs. And I've been in locker rooms where there's both. The thing about a bad egg in a locker room is wherever it is in the locker room, it makes the locker room smell. You realize that? If you got a bad egg, you know when eggs go bad and they just smell, that sulfur smell, that eggy smell? It's what they say hell smells like, by the way. That sulfury smell that makes most of us gag, that gets in our nose and we just sort of like want to get away from wherever that is. If you have a bad egg in any part of your locker room will start to reek. And that's how society is. If you have hate in nooks and crannies of your society, no matter how much love you have, that hate reeks. It smells. And that smell grows. And if you don't handle that hate with love and you try, I mean, you can't make somebody be something, but if you don't look at that portion of your society and you just ignore it, that smell will grow and it will fester. If you have a strawberry inside of your carton of strawberries that has mold on it, if you leave that strawberry in there, that mold will spread to other strawberries. Any analogy that I give you, if you have bad and you leave it unchecked and you don't do anything to try and make it better, you don't try to help, you don't try to understand why is this person bad, where is this coming from, if you don't try to administer to what is the mold in your society, the mold grows. And in America, hate has grown like mold, and I think other countries who don't necessarily like us are watching and they're not doing anything because they think that we're defeating ourselves. And they're just waiting to see us attack each other so that they can take what's left. That's what I think. I don't care who you voted for. I care how you treat people. I don't care if you made a wrong decision or a right decision, as long as whatever you're doing now is you know what I mean? You make a mistake, you correct your mistake. You don't keep making the same mistake. Team over self. I deal with teams all the time. I talk with teams at all different levels. Little kids, high schools, college, pro, alumni. I talk with people that have been a part of a team, a real team, a sports team. But when you're at work, you're part of a team. And in the greater form of society, America is a team. Humanity is a team. If we as a team in humanity don't treat nature right, nature has proven that it will respond. If we slap Mother Nature, she might take a minute, but she will slap you back. You can't just do whatever you want to Earth and think it's going to be fine. Just like you can't leave rotten eggs in your house and think that it's not going to smell. That's reality. That's reality. So you're not going to agree with everybody. You're not going to change everybody. You're not going to get everybody to agree with you and come onto your side. But we have lost the art of the conversation of, you believe this, I believe that. Can we be friends? And can we listen to each other? And can we learn something from each other? Maybe we walk away from this table and we still disagree, but if friends stop being friends over politics, and family members stop being family members over politics, then we're going to lose the fabric of everything. Now we're not looking at Congress. We're looking at our own house. And a house divided cannot stand. And people think that that quote was like made by some big box department store and put on a pillow. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. A house divided against itself cannot stand. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. The Bible was written how many years ago? And if you read the Bible right now, and it's uncanny. I was looking at parts in the beginning of the Bible, like the beginning of the Bible. And I'm reading stuff in the Bible, and I'm going, how did they know to give human beings advice in 2025 that would make logical, rational sense over 2,000 years ago? So the people are like, oh, the Bible is just a big fake book. It's fiction. Then why does that fiction give us the advice that we need to sustain humanity and community and society? How did they know back then what we needed to hear right now? A house divided against itself cannot stand. A team cannot function with one good player. Barry Sanders was really good. The Lions stunk. Kelvin Johnson was really good. The Lions stunk. Gary Payton and Sean Kemp and Detlef Schrempf and Sam Perkins were really good, but they couldn't get over the hump because they had some pieces, but they didn't have a whole team. You need to have team over self if you want to succeed. And I don't want to see anybody not end up in heaven. I don't care if you hate me to the high heavens. I don't want you to not be there. I've made jokes on the show, and I've probably gone a little bit too far sometimes with people that are really mean. And I said, if I die and I see these people, then I know I'm in the wrong place. And I was joking, and at the same time, I was also frustrated, internally upset about the way I've been treated, and I acted with my ego and not with my spirit, and I apologize to God for that. I don't adhere to that same belief anymore. If you hate my guts, I don't know how you get to heaven with hate in your heart, but I still want you to get there. I want you to do what you need to do to get right with God and get to heaven. Because God already won. And people think that God could lose, you know. It's so crazy to me. People don't believe in God, but they believe in the devil. They don't believe in heaven, but they believe in hell. Like devil worshipers don't believe in God necessarily, or people that are atheists. They believe in like evil, but they don't believe in good, which makes no sense because one cannot exist without the other. Well, I shouldn't say one can't exist without the other, but you can't determine what is good and evil without the antithesis. Like if everything in life was good, we would just think life is life. We wouldn't say life is good. We'd just be like, this is life. But knowing evil helps us to understand good, and knowing good helps us to understand evil. Like when people say if God is God, why would God allow the devil to be in society in order for us to understand what is evil and what is good? God didn't say go with the devil, but if he allows the devil to exist, then he's allowing you the opportunity to see what is evil and what is good, to differentiate between the two and to make up your own mind. God never tells you to go the wrong direction. He just gives you the opportunity to see both pieces of the fork in the road and to make a choice. And he trusts you to make a choice. He doesn't say you're going to make the right choice, and he most certainly doesn't tell you to go to the bad side. But it's there, right? If we didn't have the Jedi and the dark side, then we wouldn't know what the dark side was, and we wouldn't know what a Jedi is. If we didn't have the First Order, we wouldn't know what the Resistance was, and vice versa. So, because if we had a resistance and there was nothing to resist, then why would they be called the Resistance? Good and evil need to exist so that we understand what is what. But we have to work toward a common good. And what people don't seem to understand is if you're a nice person, but you're evil to people that disagree with you, you're not a nice person. You're evil. You can't be evil, kind of. Well, I'm nice to everybody that agrees with me, but I am a terror to the people that don't. Well, I'm nice to everybody on social media that agrees with me, but I internet troll these people, and I say things like I tell people that they should commit suicide and they should kill themselves and they're terrible people because they disagree with me. They're obviously in the wrong. They like this person that I don't like, so I'm going to attack them and I'm going to make them hate themselves until they delete their account. But I'm a really nice person because I'm only going against the people that are wrong. That doesn't make you a nice person. One drop of hate, and I think this is from like a Snow White movie, but it stuck with me. They said, one drop of hate in your heart is like one drop of dye in water. When people say, my heart loves, but I got a little bit of hate. Like I love everybody, but I hate this one person, or I hate this one group of people that disagree with me, right? I love everyone, but I hate these people. Well, then you don't love everyone. And that drop of hate, they put that drop of hate like a colored dye, right? So you take like black dye and you just one drop in the water. You leave the room, you come back. What color is the glass of water? It's all black. Because one drop of hate, you cannot have a heart of love, a soul of love with one drop of hate. Because that one drop of hate will spread. It's like having rotten eggs in a locker room. So that's reality. And in order to have a strong team, you have to understand that you cannot love some of your teammates and hate the others. You can't hang out with these four and then talk negatively about these three. In order for you to succeed as a team, be it a literal team, be it a home, a family, be it at work, be it on a construction site, be it a country, be it a state, be it the world, be it humanity. If we love most but hate some, or we hate most and love some, you will never succeed as a team. So the people that tell me, like, I'm a nice person, Dan, and I do all these nice things, but when it comes to these people and their beliefs, oh man, I put them down and I put them in their place. If you put people down, you're not a nice person. So, like when I'm on social media and I'm friends with people and I can sit, they're good to me and they've always been good to me, but I see them attack somebody else, that tells me about your character. That tells me something about you. Like, it tells me I can't talk to you about certain subjects. It tells me that if I ever disagree with you, will I be attacked? You know what I mean? So that's something that I pay attention to with people is I'm a really nice person unless you disagree with me. Well, then you're not a really nice person. You're a really nice person when it's convenient for you to be. And when somebody inconveniences you, you're a terror. So that's how I look at it. And that's how this country, this is what we've become. If you agree with me, come to my side and be my friend. If you disagree with me, well, then I hate you. I don't hate people that disagree with me. I don't hate people that I've sat down with and have disrespected me and disparaged me in a conversation where we disagreed and I was seeking to learn and they were just seeking to call me names and attack me. I also find it very interesting that most people that call you names and make claims about you and say very harsh things toward you couldn't take half of what they say to you if you said it to them. They will call you names, they will accuse you of things, and they will chastise you. But if you did an eighth of what they did to you, oh my gosh, this person would lose their mind. I've realized that with people. People that are willing to call you a name or call you this or accuse you of that, if you accuse them of anything, if you call them any name, that person will act like you are like the worst person, that like you're worse than Hitler, you're worse than Mussolini. They dish it, but they can't take it. And my thing is, I don't want to dish it. You know, if you want to accuse me of something and you want to come in, and I tell people this, you want to accuse me of something, you better have your facts straight. You better have your facts straight. I got accused of something when I was a kid by a family member. And it was so outrageous that I laughed and I was confused and I was like, I hope you're kidding. And then I said, okay, well, I'm about to hit you with some facts. And then they're like, you're right. Maybe you're not that way. And I was like, okay, well, I don't need your acceptance any more than I needed your disrespect. I know who I am. And like I said, actions speak louder than words. People can say whatever they want to say. But I don't, like, to me personally in my life, if you're a nice person, then I'm hanging around you. If you're not, I'll pray for you, but I don't sit with you. I don't want to be around. I'll give you a shot, but I don't want to be around people that are habitual line steppers. I don't want to be around that. It doesn't mean I don't want you to get to heaven. It doesn't mean I don't pray for you. It means it's not healthy for me to be around somebody who I know is a snake. You realize in the first story of the Bible, it's Adam and Eve and a snake, right? That's it. Besides God, there's three things: Adam, Eve, snake. Does God say to listen to the snake? Does God say to spend time with the snake? Does God say to go hang out with the snake? Once they sin, does God say, okay, now you can go be with the snake because you're doing what the snake does? When does God ever tell Adam and Eve that the snake is their friend, the snake should be with them, they should eat dinner with the snake, they should sleep next to the snake, and they should be in the snake's life? When does he say that? Yet a person who is a snake in your life will bite you, and if you say, I don't want to be around you anymore, and they say, why? And you say, because you bit me, they would say, what would Jesus do? Jesus would sit here and get bit all day by me. No, Jesus wouldn't. No, Jesus wouldn't. Only an idiot. I don't want to say an idiot because we've all made mistakes. Let me rephrase. Because it's not an idiot. Sometimes you love somebody so much that you'll do this. If a snake bites you and slithers off into the forest, if you chase that snake down, and I can't take credit for this because somebody said this to me, if you chase a snake down in the forest and ask the snake why it bit you, the only thing you're going to get is bitten again. So the people that hurt you, disrespect you, disparage you, call you names, threaten you, abuse you, when you say, I can't be in this relationship anymore, and they say, well, then you're not acting like Jesus, I guess you don't believe in God. Ask them if they would chase a snake that bit them into the forest and ask the snake why it bit them. It's common sense. God never says, be illogical, be irrational, be stupid. God says, treat people the way that you want to be treated. If they don't treat you kindly, he doesn't say, yeah, stay there. He doesn't say stop loving them. He doesn't say stop caring about them. He doesn't say stop praying for them. But I don't remember a point where God says, he says if somebody hits you, turn the other cheek. But I don't think that that equals if you're a woman being beat by your husband or a husband being beat up by your wife, that you should stay there until one day they kill you. You know, because some people say that, well, if you're in a marriage where they abuse you, what would Jesus do? Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Okay, so are you suggesting to your sister that she continues to get punched in the face? Some things are common sense. And that common sense has to trump some of these weird things that people want to accuse us of when you decide to be healthy. Only a snake in your garden will bite you, and when you say, I don't want to be around you anymore, will say, well, if you loved me, then you would accept getting bit by me. Okay? You get bit by a snake, you're running. You get bit by a shark, you're swimming. If you get bit by a shark, you don't sit there and say, Jesus said turn the other cheek, which I think means turn the other leg. So he bit this leg, so I'm just going to wade in the water till the shark bites my other leg and eventually kills me. No, if a shark bites you, you're screaming for help and you're swimming as fast as you can. So if you would swim away from a shark that bit you, why would you stay around a person that abused you? It's the same thing as a shark bite. Team over self. Right? When you're putting your team together, surround yourself with good, positive people. They don't all have to agree with you. I have friends that I consider brothers, and I love them dearly. We don't all agree. We don't all vote the same. We don't all think the same. But morals, values, God, we're with each other on that. I don't think somebody could be really, really, really close to me and like hate God. I don't see how we would have much to talk about. It doesn't mean I don't like them, and it doesn't mean I hate them back. It just means that person's probably not going to understand me. Because I find that people that don't believe in God and have some anger toward God, when they're around me, I don't even have to talk about God. I just act the way that I act, and I am the way that I am. And I feel like it like infuriates people that I believe in God, sometimes. And that's something they got to take up with God. I can't fix that. I can pray for it. I can help you. I can talk to you. I can listen to you. But I don't understand why somebody would hate God. Well, Dan, I have cancer, so I hate God. I don't think God put the cancer in your body. I don't think God said, you've worshiped me, you've praised me, you've been there for me your whole life. I'm going to punish you. I want to see you suffer. I think God wants us to lean on him. Look what happened to Job. Job was stripped of everything. Continue to praise God, got it all back, right? And, my grandfather's died when I was 6. I didn't understand that. I had to go with my dad to make sure that he didn't have a cancer scare a year ago. I don't think my dad did anything bad to God. So why do I believe in God? Because if I get good news, I blame God. If I get bad news, I lean on God, right? If I have good news, I say, all right, God, thank you. Thank you for this blessing. And if I get not so good news, I say, okay, God, what are we going to do? Well, Dan, how can you believe in God if the world's on fire? How could Noah believe in God when there was water everywhere? How could Jesus believe in God and the plan when there was a human side to Jesus, and there is a human side to Jesus that wanted to be spared? Right? I can't tell you why bad things happen outside of the fact that we live on a planet that has nature, and we forget. We think we're on this earth, and we just wake up every day thinking like we own this earth, that it's ours. We forget that it's a spinning rock that's going around the sun. We forget that if it spins out of orbit, if it falls out of orbit, if for some reason it stops spinning, if the sun burnt out, if the sun went away, that like we very logically could all be dead. But we wake up on this planet like, well, this is our planet. Like we could do whatever we want to it. You can't. Sometimes nature responds because human beings did something wrong. Sometimes nature responds because it's nature. The earth is a living, breathing thing. it goes through changes, right? It goes through different pieces. I mean, we had to build ecosystems in high school, and a little tiny ecosystem had a mind of its own. And they told us it might do this. And then I'm looking at my ecosystem going, okay, well, what if it does that? I didn't anticipate that. So you never know what's going to happen. And so I don't think we can blame Earth on God, because it's an ever-growing, evolving thing. And I think humanity, in and of ourselves, we're ever-growing and evolving as well. Not as much pollution back in the day because we didn't have any technology, right? Cavemen didn't have industry, they didn't have businesses, they didn't have pollution. But there might have been something else in the ecosystem that was causing pollution. They might have had something else that affected things, right? The meteor strike with the dinosaurs, if you believe that that is what happened, that meteor strike, it put a lot of things into the atmosphere and into the air. And there's the notion of the fact of like, it's not just a meteor strike and then it's over. It's a meteor strike, and then maybe everything that happened from that blocks out the sun. You know, maybe you can't come on land for a certain amount of time after all of that happens because of what's left in the atmosphere. The nuclear power plant that was in Japan that, you know, obviously went through some damage and whatnot, they said that there were like particles, there was things in the air that weeks later reached California. So you never know what's going to happen in life. And we are evolving, and Earth is evolving, or we're devolving, right? We choose that. But if we work as a team, we have the opportunity to have more success together. When I go to a game and they play the national anthem and I see everybody stand, you know, I look around and I say to myself, for these 2 minutes, we're all in unison. We're all a family. We're all together. We're all standing together. And that always means something to me. It always touches my heart. Little things like that remind me that we can be unified by doing really simple acts. And if we ever want to be successful in the game of life, a team has a better chance of winning than one individual having a really good day, a really good game. If I've learned anything on and off the courts and the fields and the pools and the tracks of life, it's that a team bonded together, win or lose, treats each other the same, win or lose, frustrated, angry, upset, depressed, down, but still a family, has a better chance of succeeding against any odds than a team that is just out for their individual gain and each of them resides on an island. So think about your life today and think about how you can be a better teammate in any piece of your life, small or large. Think about how you can put the team above yourself and start having conversations and sitting down and giving people an opportunity to show you who they are instead of judging them by something they've said once, what's on their t-shirt, what's on their hat. We need to start being open to just learning about each soul on this planet. And we may not like everybody, and we may not be everybody's taste either. But if God made us all, and God is infallible, then just because we disagree on something doesn't mean that we can't pass the ball and be a good teammate and win the game of life. We'll take a step aside. We'll wrap up the show right after this.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. There is nothing in my opinion, that's like GG Cards and Breaks. That's why I go there. That's why I love it there. That's why I hang out with the guys. And when I go, whatever day I go, I always want to go back. Like if I go there on a Tuesday, on Wednesday, I'm like, man, I wonder what they got today. And I've just been there. But I just want to see it, right? I love the singles. I love being able to look at the cards, see what autographs they have, numbered cards, rookie cards, certain people I'm looking for. Maybe there was somebody there that I wasn't looking for in the past, but I'm looking for them now. You know what I mean? And they have every NFL, every NBA, every MLB team. No store I know has that. That's a ton of work. Very time-consuming. Everything that you put into that, right? To go through all of these stacks and stacks of cards, everything that you get in, the collections that you bring, all the stuff that you have, things that you open, and then to take those boxes and put things in those, what goes in those boxes, what players are in there. Player does really well. You want to take them out of the box. You want to put them in the showcase. You got to think about that. You got to know your inventory. So many things at GG Cards and Breaks: hockey, basketball, baseball, football, soccer, Disney, Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. It's literally the dream of a little kid and the dream of a big kid. I'm a big kid. I go in there. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the people. And that's what makes it, to me, it's about the people. It's about the service. And then it's about the product, right? If you got great people, I'm going to come in and see you, hang out with you. And then I look at the product. I'm always, hey guys, how y'all doing? And then I look at what's on the shelf. Because the people that are there mean more to me than the shelf. And then when I see what's on the shelf, I'm like, all right, what do we got? What are we opening? What's here? And there's always that excitement of discovery, right? When you're a card collector of any age, it's kind of like digging up a fossil, right? You want to know what you're going to find. And you're looking through everything to try and find something cool, to try and find that steal, right? That thing that you just have, that thing that I can't wait to bring home. And maybe you buy a few packs, a box, because you really want to get into the dig, right? It's not, sometimes the dig is looking through all the cases. Sometimes the dig is looking through the boxes. Other times it's buying an unopened box or an unopened pack and digging that way. But you can experience GG Cards and Breaks however you want to. That's the cool thing about it. Go and see them. Tell them DT sent you. It's really easy. DT sent me to GG. It even rhymes. That's how easy it is. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I have been with you for over 3 hours today. I don't regret it. I never do. And I appreciate your patience this morning. We were a few minutes behind, and then Murph and I got to talking, and we were just catching up on some stuff. And then before I know it, I look at the clock, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at where we're at. So I'm happy to be here with you. I'm always happy to be here with you. And I truly mean this when I say this. I love you all dearly because you're God's kids, because you take time to support a dream of mine. And anybody who is a child of God, there's love there in and of itself because God loves you. So why should I not? And on top of that, if you support somebody's dream, especially a total stranger, I mean, to me, that's such a kind thing to do. Like when you spend time supporting somebody, just by showing up. I may never meet all of you, right? There's been times where we've reached over 1 million people, 3 million people in a month, less than a month. And I'm never going to meet all those people, arguably. But you showed up for me. And I appreciate that. And I take that and I want to pay that forward. So when you show up and you watch my show, now I want to go watch my godson soccer game. I want to pay it forward, right? Show up and show somebody. If you love and you care about something, I'm going to support that. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the businesses that I work with. Thank you for being with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. And of course, once the shows are here, they jump into the archives, and we just added yesterday's broadcast to the archives. Awesome. Like those conversations to me, those are national, like pertinent, multi-layered, like that's like an 8-layer cake, right? There's like 7-layer cakes. It's like an 8-layer cake. The conversation with Gary Stokan, president and CEO of Peach Bowl Inc., and an 8-layer cake of the conversation with longtime collegiate head football coach Mike Houston about the future of college football and collegiate athletics. Those are on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and more. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Shout out to the Brooklyn Pickle. The BP, we all know it up in central and upstate New York, but now they're getting to know it down in North Carolina. How you feel about that? I feel great, because the more places where we can have the Brooklyn Pickle, that means the more people are eating well. And like I said, I'm about team over self. I don't want to eat good. I want you to eat good, and I eat good. Let's all eat good. And if you want to eat really good, you go to the Brooklyn Pickle, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right by Pinehurst Golf Courses. So when you're down in North Carolina or you live in North Carolina, you know where to be. That is Brooklyn Pickle on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Our partners here in Central and Upstate New York, our exclusive studio partner, Great Lakes Honda City. Much love to them. Here, Wake Up Call comes to you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, K9 Camp Dog Daycare, Avicolli's, Mother's Cupboard, GG Cards and Breaks, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Servomation, Pizza Man, K9 Campground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Dolphins during Dolphin time, and you will find that every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. This week and next week, we're going to have a double dose of the Dolphin Dive featuring the Lemoyne softball team. We're going to have a trio of student athletes this week. Next week, we're going to have head coach Tracy Roman. You don't want to miss a second of it. Emotional, funny, exciting, double special. Can't wait to share that with you. So I am definitely happy to bring that to you, as well as everything we do with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. And you can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Lemoyne playlist, and of course, you will find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to lemoynedolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find those Bobcats in the Bobcat Buzz every single month here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, with student athletes, coaches, administration. So many great things with the Bobcats. Men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, all coming to you. Definitely appreciate everything we get to do with the Bobcats. They are no longer a kept secret. I love telling their stories. They are such a unique place. And dealing with so many teams that I have in the NCAA, they're in the USCAA, which is separate from the NCAA, but they can compete against NCAA teams. There's so much more openness with what the Bobcats can do, and that's what I love about it, is it's a totally different angle on collegiate athletics, and it's a great place to get your education. So head off to look up on any search engine, Bryan and Stratton, Syracuse. If you'd like to go back to school, if you'd like to play and are looking at some teams there, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And shout out to Brooke Parro, the new athletics director and leader of athletics moving forward at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. 2 locations, one on James Street up the road from downtown Syracuse, the other right across the street from Avicolli's in Liverpool, right off of Route 57. You can find all of our Bobcat coverage by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the BSC Syracuse playlist, and you can find the Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, as I said, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are right here with us every Tuesday, like today. Gavin Walsh. I'm going to have this as its own special, so you watched it this morning. You'll have the opportunity to watch it separately as its own individual special release. So essentially, the conversation is viewable on 2 different videos just to promote even more what we're doing with these Binghamton University Bearcats. Gavin Walsh's story, an incredible story. I loved it. Heartwarming story. You can find that and more in Bearcat Time every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with student athletes, coaches, and administration. Joining me from the Binghamton University Bearcats sports programs and beyond. You will find the Bearcats with us Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and by going to facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, I want to thank my awesome guest today, Mr. Murph, Brendan Murphy, for our DT and Murphy. We had a sports card show and tell, proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. We also did a bunch of prop bet fun, and I'm going to put all those prop bets up on our social media, on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. If you want to use these prop bets for people in your life, you want to take these, go ahead, give us some credit, shout us out, show us some love. But feel free to use these prop bets. We had some fun with them today. We did them in the moment. Murph didn't know what I was going to come up with. I didn't know what my brain was going to come up with this morning. So we had a lot of fun with that. And we're going to be putting those prop bets up so you can take a look at them and see if we're right or wrong come big game time between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Thanks to Murph. Thanks to Gavin Walsh joining us for this Bearcat Breakroom. Had a great time telling the story of not only Gavin, but his family. And I look forward to continuing to extend and tell that story of his family and of the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball team, who have their song Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay that has now become their theme, and their other theme, their motif in the huddle, hands up, put the fists together, not today. And that has worked twice, so let's hope that not today continues to work for the Binghamton University Bearcats. And that was their way of saying we're not going to lose again. We're not going to lose today. We ain't doing it today. All we can focus on is today, right now, together as each other, team over self, not today. And I hope that that continues to work. Gavin, a true positive, peace, and faith-filled person, believing in God. Loved our conversation. Can't wait to have another one. Definitely make sure you check it out when I release it as its own special. And the ingredients to success, focusing on team over self from Avicolli's. Head to Avicolli's today for lunch, dinner, and drinks. Always drink responsibly and support local at Avicolli's. Takeout, delivery, and catering. 315-622-5100. So get in touch with them there. Thank you all for tuning in. You know our social media. As always, I say God bless, no stress, do your best. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, this is Wake Up Call. And you are worth it. You are loved. You are amazing.